This show is sponsored by BetterHelp Therapy Online. Being human doesn't come with a user manual, but sometimes we don't have the tools we need to navigate life's stressors. Luckily, working with a therapist can help you gather those tools. Visit betterhelp.com/allies and navigate life with a little more ease.
Hello, welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I'm Daniel Bloodworth, coming to you from Los Angeles, California. This week I'm joined by Bradley Ellis.
Hello.
Michael Damiani.
Yo, what's up?
And making it all happen in the control room, Isla Hink.
Hi.
And Don Casanova's back there.
What are you doing? He's wearing three pairs
waving.
of headphones.
Friends, this week we've got some headlines, but it's also time for our fall game preview, where we'll be going over all the games coming out in the next 3 months. And of course, we're going to chat about that Mario teaser as well. Got a couple other announcements that we're going to hit on. But before we get started, Dawn Romantica has been ambushed.
Oh!
So on the way to her next training session, our custom character, Dawn Romantica, D-A-W-N, like the sunrise, has been ambushed by the Koopa Brothers from Paper Mario.
Oh, I was like, huh?
And these guys are like ninja Koopas. I don't know a whole lot about them.
Okay.
But yeah, so they got some skills going on, not just your regular run-of-the-mill Koopas.
Right.
Okay, so in these scenarios, I'm going to give you 3 options for what Dawn should be doing. Whoever I hear answer first, that's what Dawn is going to do. However, once you get an answer, you won't be able to be the person to answer again. But you can try to convince the other people who are left. All right? So, against the Koopa Brothers, should Dawn negotiate, attack, or block?
We have our stats here. Don's stats.
Attack.
Attack.
Yeah, yeah.
Success.
Woo!
So, yeah, one of the Koopa brothers knocks the other Koopa at Dawn. The shell slides across. Dawn hits it back with the butt of her sword, then striking out the remaining Koopas. And at the end of this session, that is going to give her +2 to her swordsmanship.
Woo!
She runs down the alleyway, keeping her guard up, but blocking her path, there is an electrified fence.
Oh. Negotiate!
Yes.
Should Dawn try to slice the fence with her sword, climb to the rooftops, or slide into a sewer grate?
Don't attack it with your sword.
No, it's a metal sword.
Yeah.
I can't make the choice, but I'll say no.
Yeah.
Sewer!
Sewer. Success.
Woo!
Yes.
Using those morph ball skills, the flexibility learned from Samus,
There you go.
Dawn is able to get into that sewer grate.
This is fun.
And as soon as she gets down there, though, out of the shadows, there appears a Tonberry.
Oh,
Shapeshift.
no.
Whatever
This is
shapeshift.
not good.
Run.
So, you can either unleash a flurry of punches,
No.
parry with her sword, or perform a sneak attack.
So now we have +3 swordsmanship, but I feel like
At the end, we get
attacking
+3 swordsmanship.
Yeah.
I
Right.
think,
I feel like attacking is the worst thing you could do against
yeah,
Tonberry.
probably Tonberry, yeah.
Because they'll always do it's
The stealth attack, maybe, but it was parry.
Parry, a flurry of punches, or the sneak attack.
I would say sneak attack, but it's
Yeah,
up
I
to you.
think that
It's up to
makes
you.
yeah,
sense.
because you can't really block. So we'll go with the sneak attack.
Oh, it's a fail.
The dice roll.
Dawn crunches a small piece of glass under her foot, alerting the enemy at the last second. And she gets knocked out.
Oh, no.
She loses the fight, but she does survive to train another day. It's been a hard morning, so Dawn is going to go home and patch herself up, but today's events have gained her +2 swordsmanship, +2 flexibility, and +1 stealth.
Oh.
Gets a little experience out of it, but not as much as if she had succeeded.
Tonberries are tough.
They are.
Thanks to everybody who participated today. Become a patron for $5 or more to submit to Workout Buddies. All of those different elements were submitted by our patrons this week.
That's so cool.
Watch for the love and respect post I put up each Monday and Tuesday. Don's going to take a big long nap, and now we must answer the mistakes we made in last week's episode.
Ooh.
Isla, begin corrections music, please.
Boop.
The Amazon Lumberyard engine no longer exists. It has been succeeded by the Open 3D engine, which is built on the foundations of Lumberyard.
They used all that lumber, I guess.
But it's maintained by the open source community.
Oh, wow. So they just ditched it, kind of.
Yeah, basically.
Love that open source community, though.
The word spelled Aubergine is pronounced aubergine. I said aubergine last week. It's one of those words that I don't hear people say a lot.
Yes.
You see it written.
Yes.
But yeah, who knows? And if you have a correction, leave it in the YouTube comments on either the public version or patron version of this episode. Start with the word correction and leave a timestamp for the part of the video you are correcting so I know what we're talking about. End corrections music.
Boop.
All right. We've been having a lot of nice game announcements the past few weeks. And this one we've known about. There's been some reports on, but we hadn't really seen a full official confirmation until this week. Need for Speed Unbound.
Yes.
And as described by those reports, this is a more animated take on Need for Speed.
Not anime.
We're not anime, not really. Yeah, it's like more like doodle and graffiti kind of style.
Doodle?
Like, yeah, you'll see. Like, there's like a lot of little. We're gonna run the trailer here, but there's like a lot of like little sketch marks and like somebody like scribbling in a notebook kind of effects going on, and then like this amped up smoke with like high contrast colors and all of that, and then the characters themselves are kind of cell shaded. Like it's a normal character model, but you can see like the lighting and the shading is a little bit different. There's also some like other kind of like paper effects and blasts going on when there's boosts. And yeah, back to street racing. Lots of night shots, not entirely night shots, but a lot of that. I like the little like pencil things around the wheels sometimes that are kind of like off to the sides of them. And cop chases are in there, of course. This one's developed by Criterion, who did some of the they were the Burnout guys originally.
Oh, right.
And then they did the Hot Pursuit remake and the Most Wanted.
Did you like those?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, those
cool.
are really good. That's like when Need for Speed kind of came back.
Cool.
And then the Ghost games have been sort of like okay, but hit or miss as well. And then some of that was due to EA forcing a bunch of weird like microtransaction-y bizarre nonsense in there. But yeah, what's your take?
I think it looks cool. It reminds me of Underground, obviously, and I played some of that. I've never like owned these games. I just played them at friends' houses, but I thought that was fun. And I think the style is different enough and striking to me where I'm like, ooh, this looks kind of interesting. Like, I'm not a huge racing game fan, but I think it looks fun and cool, and the team making it has a good pedigree, so...
Yeah.
Which
is a little weird because Criterion, in terms of like a company, has kind of gone through like a lot of ups and downs in terms of their team. Because like a lot of the team that made those Criterion games went over to the new Ghost Game studio, and then Criterion itself was kind of pared down and then did like a lot of support work on other EA games. But now it's like, yeah, they've decided to like build that studio back up. I don't know how many people have crossed back over.
Right.
It's a little wild. I'd like to see like somebody like really dig into like what the heck the history of that studio has been like.
I think Blood, the idea of its just visual style and it being striking to me is a good sign already. Where I'm just like, oh, this is interesting, and I think that's a huge part of just getting anyone to care about your game.
Yeah, I think that it just shows that there's a sense of direction there. That like we're not just doing another one.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I think that's pretty cool. They say, I've got some quotes here. You outsmart cops, obviously, improve what you have it takes to win the grand Lakeshore's ultimate street racing challenge, disrupting the status quo by just being you. Through your racing style, unique car builds, fashion, music, and much more, which, obviously kind of like hints at this microtransactions, probably buy a lot of outfits.
This is going to be a live
there.
service game 100%.
Introducing True Consequence with impactful risk and reward for every race, decision, and side bet. Players uncover the world of Lakeshore when a robbery at a family auto shop tears two friends apart and sets a rookie racer on a journey to win the ultimate street race and reclaim the priceless car that was stolen from them.
Did you say Lakeshore makes me feel like it's based on Chicago? Do we know?
It's probably. That makes sense to me. But yeah, they usually go fictional locations.
Yeah. Because Lakeshore Drive is like the big road.
And then, the trailer has a song from ASAP Rocky, and I guess he and his management company have had a lot of like input too on this, like the style and the vibes of the game.
I love that you spelled out ASAP Rocky.
Yeah, sorry, I do not follow. People just say ASAP.
Cute. Yeah, ASAP Rocky. Not to be confused with ASAP Rock, different person.
That is confusing to me.
There's no last gen on this.
Yay.
PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, December 2nd.
Yeah.
$69.99.
The new
There
standard.
it is.
It's happening.
Yep.
Slowly
For
but
current
surely.
gen games. Yep.
$70.
And on Switch slowly with some games.
Yep.
What do you think about that release turnaround, though? That's a quick one.
Oh, from like
Yeah.
reveal to
Yeah,
I think
October to December.
Yeah,
it's fast.
Yeah, I feel like a game like this shouldn't have that long of a lead time, though. This might be to its benefit. I don't know how historically how early they've revealed the games. I kind of forget, but I feel like it's been like probably like at least around a year, where something like racing or extreme sports types games, like just talk about it and get it out in the next few months. Like don't do
I
like
agree.
Yeah. So I think it helps it. I think it's pretty good that they have it ready to go.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like it feels exciting because it's announced and it's coming out real soon. It's like, oh, sweet. Like, it feels good to actually get excited about when you know it's right around the corner.
And it probably won't be too long till we start seeing some of the actual gameplay.
Right.
Because I really like seeing those effects in a trailer is one thing, but when you have all these quick shots and like you have all the other like things that they're putting on top of it, it's like, okay, but
what's it like?
Yeah, what is this like when I'm
agree.
actually playing? Because it's like, it seems cool, but is it just going to be annoying? Is everyone just going to go in and like turn all the doodles off? I don't.
Yeah, it's a good point, Blood. Yeah.
But definitely like the style.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah.
Some late breaking news here from ZOVGM in live chat. They just announced Pilot Wing 64 is hitting Nintendo Switch Online. They always announce these right when we start filming.
We knew about they talked about that.
We knew it was the next
but
game.
we didn't know when.
So October 13th.
I think we knew it was coming before the end of the year.
Next Thursday.
Cool stuff. But yeah, so that's the first game on our list. But we're gonna get into our October game preview. This is not comprehensive, so if we missed a game,
apologies.
We just missed the game, or we didn't want to talk about that game. We don't we don't have anyone to talk about NHL, so that's fine.
Yeah. Yep.
And also, I'm not going to blanket this in B-roll. We're keeping it to highlighting things that you might not know what the heck it looks like. So, when you get like Dragon Ball or Plague Tale or Mario and Rabbids, it's like we've all seen those games quite a bit.
Yeah.
So we're keeping the B-roll to some of the like more obscure stuff. And we'll also everyone's going to pick their sizzle or fizzle for this quarter. So those will be little surprises. But we're going to start off with Lego BrickTales, which Isla, you and Don streamed a preview of that a little while back.
Hell yeah. It was surprisingly cute. We liked it. Yeah, he says yeah. I mean, I don't know how much there is to say about it, but it's like a little adventure and you can build stuff. It'll give you a prompt to be like, build a flying machine with these parts, but how you build it is up to you. And like, if it is balanced and works is like up to your design. Surprisingly robust building system. So yeah, it's really cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So from what I remember, it's like you're exploring like a 3D world, right? But
yeah,
kind of top down.
They're sort of little like
dioramas.
Dioramas, yeah, sort of like that. Is it kind of like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker vibes, sort of,
Yeah,
except
remind me of
Legos?
that.
Yeah.
The
And then
graphics are nice.
Yeah, and then you come up on like a situation like that, and then it like flips over to like a build screen, right?
What? Sorry.
And then when you come up on like an object or a situation to interact with, then it like flips into like a building screen.
Yeah, sorry. Don was looming behind me. And I was like, what's going on? I think he wants to speak. Don, would you like to speak?
Yes. What I love about BrickTales is never before so many Lego games, right? There's a lot of them. This one has a beautiful world, but every single thing was actually a Lego piece, right, Isla? I'm thinking of the right game, right?
Yeah.
That hasn't been done before.
Even the branches and stuff.
I love that, though.
water.
We were waiting for this. The water, everything. They were all little tiny Lego beads, etc. Lovely.
Lego, known for their beads.
Yeah, that looked really cool.
I know what you're saying. I know what you mean.
Yeah, and that one's coming out October 12th. We skipped to the middle of the month because it's already the middle of the month.
Woo! What a month it is, Daniel.
And then the next day, the 13th, The Case of the Golden Idol.
Heck yeah, baby.
Yeah, tell us about this. We're going to put it on screen here for the viewers.
Yeah, so this game is neato. It's pixel art. It's a detective game, and they want it to feel like you actually get to do some detecting, because long have detective games sort of boiled down to just like, if you collect the right stuff, you kind of just get it most of the time. Some of the Sherlock games are a little tricky, and this is kind of like that, where you collect keywords, and then once you have all the information, you have to kind of fill in a sheet that has blanks in it with the keywords that you have found, and you have to use your own deduction and your own logic to be like, okay, this guy must have killed this guy because of this at this time, using this, whatever. And all of them are different, and they're all pretty wild kind of scenarios and stuff. And the art style is really cool. Check out, we did a preview video of it. I don't remember if it was an easy update or not, but we did a preview video of it, which the devs apparently liked. They said that in their little letter they sent us. But yeah, it's coming out on the 13th, and it's going to be really cool, I hope. I like it.
Yeah, and I know they had a demo in Steam Next Fest as well. I don't know if that's still available, but...
I think it should be, yes.
Yeah, keep an eye out for that if you want to give it a preview before you put some money down.
Yeah.
October 14th, Dragon Ball The Breakers.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of this wacky thing?
I think it's a weird, but kind of neat idea.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is this game kind of thing? But hey, I would play it for a little bit. I'm not like super hyped about it, but I think it's goofy and could be fun.
Yeah, I think that's what they're hoping for, is just people give it a try, because it's, some similar games out there, but now it's like got Dragon Ball attached to it, so it's people give it a chance if they haven't gone into other similar games. And
the idea is it's sort of like Dead by Daylight, right?
Yeah.
Where you're like a villager or whatever versus a supervillain.
yeah, you're pretty much like regular characters versus like
Yeah, I think there's like oolong in it. You
Yeah.
could be. It's like maybe Bulma.
Yeah, people who would normally not be able to do anything in any of the villains in Dragon Ball.
Yeah, you can be like Frieza.
And now they gotta wander around and try and survive.
Yeah.
And I just don't. Yeah, longevity is the biggest question for that. I mean, if they like want to support it. But I imagine its initial success will determine what they go for it. But I mean, Dragon Ball is usually hot. Like even things you think are gonna like not fare that well turn out to like beat your expectations because it's got that brand awareness. It's hard to bet against Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Still
Yeah,
going strong. But yeah, I would like just to be fun to play with everyone, like with Mike and stuff. That'd be a good time.
Yeah, we are looking at doing a group stream.
Yeah, that's a group stream game. Hell yeah.
Get all the consoles in here.
That's right.
Use our new capture card. Also on the 14th, Scorn.
Oh.
Previous sponsor of this podcast.
Yeah.
Isla and I did a little bit of the prologue.
Yeah.
We did a preview.
Prologue demo.
Yeah. And it was interesting because we've seen like stuff that's a little bit more actiony later on in previous demos, but this was like straight up just like a puzzle game.
Like an adventure game kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like wander around, like mess around with these devices.
Oh.
And then like try to figure out, what to do with them to advance.
Got it.
This game requires maximum perception. You have to like look around and notice things and see what might highlight and walk up to everything. I'm worried.
How are the tapestries?
So somber, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
So
just like
somber.
piles of naked bodies.
Oh, okay.
Everywhere I
Very
looked, there were
somber.
piles of bodies.
Like when you get like this key device, but it gets like grafted into your arm.
God.
So you put your arm into this thing and then like it
I bet the
puts
game's
it
got
on
a
there
lot
and
of
then you
weird
pull it
stuff
out
like
and you're
that.
just like bleeding all over the place.
Yeah, very gory, weird
Cool.
little game.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good to see it finally coming out.
I hope it's good. I really hope it's good.
Yeah. I think that's the thing is it's like how, because it's supposed to be like a long, like settle in kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But I also worry that like it might be like just like a little bit too big and open so that you just find yourself kind of like walking around in circles like where's the thing I need to interact with? I had that just in a little demo.
Like, which in a way is sort of an homage to the games of yesteryear, like your Myst and your whatever, where it's like you could just miss something and be lost for an hour being like, what am I supposed to do? Or you could have just seen it immediately and moved forward. So good thing, bad thing? I don't know. I don't know. I think it'll be good.
Yeah. Like it. Want to see more. October 17th, we got a couple of like underdog / indies. First one I wanted to bring up is Flat Eye. And this is kind of futuristic vibes. You're like running a gas station / shop. But you're also like, it blends like sim management stuff with like narrative. And so like you have all of these different customers and stuff coming in, but then some of these customers have unique stories that unfold. And you kind of walk through all of that. And I don't know exactly like how like the decision making or like all of that kind of thing plays in. But yeah, like kind of like Arcade Paradise or whatever, you kind of see like setting up your shop. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like the 2 Point games. 2
I was
Point
just
Hospital.
thinking 2 Point Hospital.
Yeah.
I like the art style though. That's cool.
Yeah, definitely digging that. These games, seeing games like this gives me so much anxiety though.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is, just kind of, just checking out
Was
the
there
day
a
to day.
baby
I
in
think
that
so.
bag?
That was a baby. BB.
Well, purchase your baby here.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Babies.
Yeah.
Where
And
do you
then
keep the babies?
What's crazy is that same day is a game called Potionomics.
This looks cute.
And yeah, and oddly enough, it sort of has a similar kind of thing going on, only it's like a different time period, it's a different art style. Instead of running a gas station, you're running this potion shop. And so like you like learn to like blend potions and sell them and like negotiate with the customers that come in. But then kind of similarly, some of those customers you go and you hang out with and you get their stories. There's also like in the trailer later on, they kind of show like potion like competitions.
Oh,
Oh.
So I'm not exactly sure how that works.
so good your brewing is.
But it's very very cute.
Yeah, looks cute.
The style looks really
She looks
fun.
like she's wearing lightning.
I know, I was thinking
Yeah, she's straight up.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't unsee it. I just like looked real fast, like lightning.
To me, at this point in my life, like games like this, like kind of ride or die on how quickly they get going. Because like there are several games like this coming out that are really quaint and nice that have an hour of text to get through at the beginning, and I'm just
Right.
like, just let me do stuff.
Well, and it's also like, is that text actually engaging? Because, you know,
Right, exactly.
that could be a thing.
Oh ho, romance.
Yeah, so the romance options going on in this one.
I'm gonna play this.
Don't know if there's any romance in Flat Eye, but other
It
than
looked pretty
babies that
romantic.
come out of
Oh, is this
vending
the
machines.
competition?
What's more romantic than that, Blake?
Yeah.
Cool.
October 18th, we got a big one. A Plague Tale Requiem.
Yeah, a big one for sure.
Brad, you had this down as one that you're
Yeah,
interested in.
I played the first one and I liked it. I thought it was kind of rough around the edges, but I liked it and I saw promise there. So now they're coming back with the sequel. I haven't seen a lot of this game, but what I've seen looked very good. So I'm hoping to see what new improvements and like probably a higher budget this time around, what they're going to bring to this game. I think it's a cool, unique game. So I'm looking forward to see what they'll do with the sequel to it.
Yeah, Damiani, have you played Plague Tale?
So no, okay. Well, I saw it at like its first ever E3 behind closed
Right.
doors.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this looks pretty cool. Like I was kind of like what was being shown at the time, like, this might be, B-level games, and then they bring out this last, and I'm like, I think this, call me crazy, but I think people are going to like this game. I think this might be your best game you have. And then, lo and behold, when you guys get a hold of it, it's like, yeah, you liked it too. It's like, all right, see, I kind of like my sense, like trusting your instincts there. But when it came out, I didn't actually like dive into it. But at some event, like I played a little bit of it, but like none of the further along stuff. And I feel like it's something I'd like to try out because I know they're not too
Right.
long and like they look great, and like the story I've heard from it is like fantastic. So
Yeah, it's wild because it's in a lot of ways it's very grounded. It's like real world
Yeah, it's rough.
France, but then you just got this whole crazy thing going on with these rats, these swarms of rats that erupt out of the ground and they're chasing you. And you've got to stay in the light and use torches and all of that. This gameplay demos I've seen from Requiem, the one thing that's a little weird and troubling to me is in the first game, you're being hunted by these soldiers. And you don't understand why, and then there's all these things going on with your little brother Hugo where he, kind of has this sickness going on, and you learn a lot about that through the course of the game. But in a lot of the scenarios that they've shown in the sequel, it's just Amicia is murdering so many people.
Right.
That is of course the soldiers are hunting you. You're killing people right and left. And they kind of talk like they regret it, but then there's just even people that seem like you don't need to kill them. They just seem to get murdered. But they've been through a lot. So
They have, yeah. Those two, definitely. Excited to see enhanced rat mechanics.
The final chapters of that first game are just wild.
Yep, definitely.
Crazy wild.
Definitely wild.
And they've shown off some stuff with the rats and the new one that is just dang, it's
Yeah.
craziness. Tidal waves of rats. That day as well, on the 18th, Ghostbuster Spirits Unleashed.
Oh, right.
cool. Yeah.
The Willemses.
Cool looking multiplayer Ghostbusters game where the Ghostbusters versus the ghosts, and I like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's already a similar game that's either out or coming out that you possess ghost possessed objects, and it's the 4v1 model.
Yeah.
But because it's Ghostbusters, just more of an emotional personal attachment to that. And just always rooting for good new Ghostbusters stuff. It's had a little bit of a resurgence, so hopefully this game can kind of ride that wave, and just playing as a Ghostbuster with the proton pack and everything. It's just fun, and being able to play with other people, I think, is going to be a good experience with that. I think it just comes down to the environments. I haven't really been paying too close attention if they're using
what the maps will be
if they're based. I forget if they're based on locations from the films or if they're using derivative stuff that's like feels samey, but it's not quite literally the same stuff. So,
If memory serves, they're doing what I had always thought would be the best idea for a sequel. Anyways, they're franchising it out. And so I think it's like in different cities all over, if I remember properly.
Okay, I mean, you're talking about conceptually, like the Ghostbusters franchise out Ghostbusters, so other people can become. Yeah, and if that is what's going on with it, that's like great because that's like handing it off to a new generation. It's a good way to do that, so you don't always have to have the OG cast around.
That's the impression I got from the trailer, anyway.
I just need cool looking Ghost and like good theme song.
Yeah. I think that, well, that's something I think they've already warned us about. It's like, don't ever play the Ghostbusters theme song on a stream.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna get flagged.
People getting sued left and right for that song for generations.
Sony hates when you do that stuff. Like big Sony, not just PlayStation Sony, but big corporate Sony. But looks like good vibes, and I forget if we're doing it as a group stream.
Yeah, we are.
But
a little later because Isla's going to be out.
Yeah.
But
Thank you.
When Isla's back,
it's gonna be fun.
Play that together. Another thing that's not on the schedule, but we'll definitely get to Jackbox Party Pack 9.
Take that, Brad and Don.
They
got 9 now.
But have they gotten better over time, or have they gotten worse over time? I feel like
it's a mixed bag.
Yes.
Yeah, they're like
the answer is yes.
Yeah, they're more and more inconsistent, I feel like. And our favorite stuff is from like the older ones. So
I'll say that definitely only one Jackbox came out where I think every game was a dud to me.
Okay.
But usually there's like one.
Something, yeah. They just need to make like a greatest hits one where they take the best individual ones and it's called like Jackbox
Superstars.
Yeah,
that's a great idea.
Just
cash grab.
Give me that one.
Yeah,
but hopefully Isla's right. It has like at least one good mode. But when they have those bad,
I think they may have done that in some form.
They might have already.
There's like a million. Jackbox
I don't really keep up on it.
Yeah.
We just did it for easy chilling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We brought back the T-shirt game.
Yeah.
Brad does like the stat game, though.
I do like the
There's
stat
a stat
game,
in that same Jackbox.
I'm just like tired of playing the same game same mini game for like 6 years, man.
They
Quiplash, I'm like, just, all right.
Well, yeah,
Quiplash is fun.
Quiplash fine.
It's fine. I'm just sick of it.
There's one that will never die, Brad.
Which one was that?
It's not a Jackbox, but just like a mini game type thing.
Bowser?
Hidden in plain sight.
Oh, Hidden in Plain
Hell
Sight is
yeah.
fun.
Never will die.
Hidden in Plain Sight,
Never
we
will
do
get old.
small bites.
Small Bites is right. Yeah.
They have the Jackbox Quint Pack, which is 1 through 5. They have the Party Pack, which is 1, 2, and 3, I think.
Okay.
So they haven't done a split them
Party
up
Pack,
and
Party
just
Pack?
do the bet. I don't know, Blood. It's called the Party Pack Trilogy,
Oh, Trilogy.
but
Got
this
it.
one's called the Quint Pack.
Got it.
I don't know.
We also, new merch if you haven't seen it. One of those shirts
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
is on
yeah.
our merch shop. So check that link there in the YouTube description. Or
We
go to-
got stickers, bae. Mysterious Monsters stickers.
Yeah. And then, the other way you can get to that is you can go to easyallies.com, click on merch at the top of that page, get you right there. That day, though, as well, could be one of our goatees. I don't know. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope.
Yeah.
Looks good. Looks real good.
Looking good, Damiani. What are you thinking?
Yeah, those that most recent showing that they did for it, like I think kind of cemented that it's doing enough different from the first game that and still looks really good. Like the Wiggler battle, like on the train and stuff, like coming up upon it and doing that, having like elemental infused abilities now. So like working that with like the Lumas or whatever they're called, the Rabbid Lumas or whatever. And just adding like the new
I
characters.
think those are the Sparks.
Sparks, literally called
Yeah,
Sparks.
yeah.
Duh. And then like just throwing Bowser into the mix, man. And it's like they still said there's one more character to reveal as well, and it's like, and then boom, Rayman joining it in DLC, baby, like making it right. So, and that the trifecta of legends doing the soundtrack for that game, the score.
Yeah, Yoko Shimomura, Grant Kirkhope, who did the first one with that crazy opera going
The
on.
opera thing is amazing.
Yeah. And Gareth Coker.
Yeah. It's like, holy crap.
Yep.
And then just the open environment parts where you're out and exploring, like the activities they're giving you. It looks like there's more to do than just find a few hitting coins. Like the original game was a little bit more linear, just like progress to your next battlefield.
Yeah, just the level design itself looks really good. Yeah,
a few more than a few shortcuts to unlock and stuff like that. So definitely looked more intriguing. And just the freeform combat, like seeing it in action kind of alleviated some of those concerns about, I don't have a grid anymore. How do I judge, things? Is it going to be harder? And they, looks pretty much same.
Yeah, it's radial basically now.
Yeah, it's very self-explanatory.
But there's so many things that you can do. There's like combo jumps into these other moves and into this. And there's a lot. It feels like there's a lot.
They had
a
little bit of that.
With.
Especially got more advanced in the first game. There was definitely a little bit of that going on. But I think they drill it into so much that eventually through repetition, it'll just become second nature. It's just about realizing when you should use which combos in which situations. I mean, obviously there's going to be more to one solution, but I think they did a good job in the first game of training you like, there are options here and you've been using these, so pick which one you like and it might work. And this one's like more of the same. But yeah, like that freeform, like kind of like movement around like in a radial area just like makes it, I think, have a little bit more flexibility in that. So it's not as rigid maybe in that movement, but I still need to maybe see some of the boss battles because those were like a big deal in the first game.
Mm-hmm. They showed that train one with the Wiggler and it was pretty amazing.
Yeah. That seemed more or less of boss and more like that might be more like what their remedial battles are like. They're going to be more like story-driven ones where it's that, but a more traditional, like the opera thing was a boss where like the whole arena has special conditions you have to meet. It's a bit of a puzzle. You got to figure out how you can even approach or even damage the boss before you can even go about doing that. And they were pretty drawn out, but they felt very rewarding. Same with the DK. Do you ever play the DK?
No, I haven't played that yet.
Man.
It's good.
Yeah, it was just as good as well.
I just beat that first one this year earlier, so I haven't played it yet.
A little sad, no DK appearing in this. Would have liked, DK to show up too, but
he'll be there.
Yeah. I hope they have like those challenge stuff at the end of the game too.
Oh yeah,
the original game had like a hub area, and you could do like really challenging stuff, which was kind of fun to see like how far you could push like your tactics.
Great unlocks too. Mm-hmm. Good new weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
Also that day, second Extinction is hitting its 1.0 release.
Oh right, I played this.
Yeah, you played it a while back.
I think I played it with Jones actually.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was like you just get deployed in an area and there's dinosaurs around that attack you and you like extract things. I was like, this is fun.
Yeah.
I haven't played it in forever, but it was cool.
It's funny because there's some similarities I feel like to Exoprimal. Like this is more like this is more out in the open rather than defending cities or whatever. But it felt like the dinosaurs were just cannon fodder.
Yeah, they were for sure,
and constant and relentless. Yeah,
something you don't want to hear: dinosaurs cannon fodder. Dinosaurs should never be cannon fodder.
Sometimes I want like in Exoprimal there's like 1,000. I'm into that sometimes. That's kind of cool.
You got like super futuristic weapons and stuff, and like they still kind of look like they're a threat. At least in the footage I see. I haven't seen second Extinction though, so like does it feel like they're still
you can get overwhelmed and
okay.
You're like, you don't want to get swarmed. It's about numbers usually in that too, but it's not as much as Exoprimal.
All right, yeah. I don't know, just trying to show some respect to dinosaurs. That's all.
Right.
Thank you, Damiani.
Speaking of cannon fodder, Vampire Survivors. Have you guys?
Is this game not out?
Yeah, I own this.
Yeah,
I've played just a tiny bit of it.
I see people streaming this all the time.
It's been early access.
Yeah, this is like a big streaming game on Twitch.
It's like $3.
Yeah, people play this like in downtime and when they're playing other games on Twitch.
Yeah, it's like just a cool little arcadey game.
I keep meaning to grab this. Yeah. People keep saying I should play it.
It keeps getting brought up on Stream Team as well.
Yeah,
but not winning.
It's like if I understand correctly, it's like an inverse bullet hell.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the things they were saying in the trailer, that you just have insane amounts of weapons and just the hordes. There's like thousands of
pianos flying around.
Yeah, look at this. Showing no respect to the undead here. Mowing through them. Was that Alucard?
Yes.
It's
their version.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But yeah, like we were saying, it seems to be like something a lot of people are into that we just haven't quite.
Yeah, I haven't played as much as I'd like to, but it was neat. I liked it. Just a cool little small game.
Next day, Gotham Knights.
Oh, yeah.
This might be my fizzle right now.
I think that's a safe fizzle.
Yeah.
That's a safe fizzle.
Because,
Oh, I forgot about that. The fizzle sizzle thing.
That is a very safe one.
yeah, it's, I don't know. It's just always on the edge of like, I'm about to care about this, and then what? Mm-hmm. Because they just had previews, and we didn't get to go this time around, but there was like, people were playing as Batgirl, and then like La Vida Loca just starts
What?
playing during a fight with a bunch of prisoners, and I'm like, what? I don't understand the context.
I don't
for this.
understand that either.
And yet people are saying like, oh yeah, even in context, it
Didn't
doesn't
Yeah,
make any
I just
sense.
Maybe it's placeholder music.
I just don't get it. Why he did that. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the recent previews, so I don't know if it's still suffering from like trying to cram RPG elements in a game that doesn't really need them.
Right.
Like,
I'm worried about it cramming co-op in a game that doesn't need it mostly, but
that too.
I just don't know how it's all going to work when
Right.
you're actually playing it. Or if they'll feel like, do I even want to co-op with someone? Will it ruin the bat experience of being like sneaky and stealthy? I just don't know. No idea. But I mean, it's Batman, so I'm curious. I want to check it out. I want to play with Hubert, knock some thugs out with him.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah,
But very cautious. I'm very cautious.
that could be fun because if that might be like the make or break for it. If it actually is really good with co-op, I mean, even for me, it was like RE5 situation. Like a game is night and day when you're playing it by yourself and when you're playing it co-op. It's just such a much more enjoyable experience playing with someone else. It was pretty much designed to be a co-op game.
Yes, I
So
would
if
say it
this is the similar thing, I could see like you and Huber having a blast, but like you two playing on your own at some point might be like, wow, this game isn't as fun without playing with each other. So
Yeah.
it might be as simple as that, honestly, in the end.
Yeah. The one thing too that like, was it Red Hood is that they gave all the
Yes.
supernatural powers and
Oh,
like
the walking on
when he was like bouncing across,
Yeah.
like just in making his own platforms across the top of the city. It felt weird, and like a lot of the movement in this game just seems to feel a little
Sure.
bit strange or like over animated at points. You know, like I think like Nightwing flipping around like crazy. I'm like, just chill, dude. Calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the story again is another thing I'm back and forth on, where it's like I'm interested in a way of these characters trying to come together, trying to become a team, but then I forget what it was. Was it Summer Game Fest? There's something earlier this year where they showed them like looking at like a Batman mask in like a case or something.
Yes.
And it was just like this
Yeah.
weird, awkward silence. And like I get that everyone's supposed to be sad, but just something here isn't
Working didn't translate well.
At least in this moment.
Yeah.
In this
I
presentation.
think that's
yeah.
fair concerns all around.
Yeah. That same day, though, it was new Tales from the Borderlands. And I think Huber's doing the partner with me on this
Yes.
one. So basically, Telltale style game in the Borderlands universe. The first one of these was really good. Both one of the best Borderlands games and one of the best Telltale games.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
And you know, it's not combat focused. It's focusing on other characters, but just does a really good job of, you know, making you care about these characters. And I got that same vibe just from one of the most recent trailers. It was like, I don't know some of these people, but like I already feel like I'm like connecting with them.
That's good.
You know, like I already get a sense of their personality and, you know, want to know more about them. So it'd be really cool to see how this one goes, how they've made the transition, and all of that. The game like also seems to like do a better job of even like the Borderlands visual style and like making that work.
Oh, yeah.
You know, without having to do as much action and stuff. It feels a lot cleaner and more solid in a way. But yeah, I like the last one. I'm
think
looking forward to
it's
this one.
so interesting because Borderlands is such a game about gameplay, I guess, and just shooting stuff, and it's like that's all stripped away, and it's still so exciting to you and stuff. That's interesting to me.
Yeah, I do think that this might be a bad time for it to come out. in the middle of all this
Yes.
October madness.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be, a time that people are really going to want to jump into like a narrative adventure like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We shall see. Isla Signalis
Hell yeah.
horror. Here it comes.
Oh, the
Dude.
PS1 looking game.
Yeah, dude. OG horror is back, baby. Let me get above this preview window. I'm very excited for this game. It's like it's like Resident Evil vibes. You're getting items, you're running out of bullets, it's gross, you're scared. It looks sick as hell.
Was it called Shadowrun, the old game, or what was it called?
No, this isn't like
Shadowrun is a game.
No, old. That's something else.
Shadowrun is an old game.
Yeah, but that's more RPG.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
I
has
think
kind of
something
like more
else.
like Metal Gear kind of Fear Effect maybe.
Yeah, it feels like it's
Yeah.
got Fear Effect kind of a graphic
sorry.
style.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's what I meant. For visuals, yeah, thanks.
But yeah, I mean, looks intense. Like the gameplay and like exploration looks cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah,
Excite.
and then there's all this crazy glitchy stuff that pops in.
Yeah.
Very interesting. October
Yeah.
27th.
Mm-hmm. Looks good.
Does.
One of you guys got to check out at TGS preview Star Ocean, the Divine Force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been some mixed reactions, but I think it looks good.
It's a Star Ocean game.
Yeah.
There's also been some. What was it? I read something about like a recent report that like Trice is in bad shape financially. I mean, they're owned by I forget who owns them, but they are already owned by another company. But their performance hasn't been great because of the
Mobile game?
cancellation of Amnesis, or however you pronounce it, their mobile thing. Since the closure of that, they like have been not making a good amount of money, and it underperformed in the end. So it sounds like maybe this game had its budget cut a little bit, or they didn't have all the resources they wanted either. And I feel like Star Ocean games, since they went 3D, or at least since The Last Hope, have kind of been a little bit more on the budget side. Like they're not like AAA games. They're
Yeah.
not
They're
really
not-
meant to be that.
Well, and some famously bad voice work.
Yeah, that's the thing. I will say the trailers haven't done it haven't done it. I don't want to say justice, but like haven't been doing it any favors in terms of voice acting isn't like that bad when you're playing it in context. It's like it's okay. It's actually better than the last two, from what I can like tell so far from the preview build we played. But otherwise, yeah, it's not like top-notch voice acting or even writing in it. Yeah, it's just more about like the battle system. Like Star Ocean games have had strong battle systems in the past. This one has some unique things they're trying to do, but in that limited time with like the limited amount we got to play, it really doesn't get to like shine or like make its case very well. It just kind of gives us like a little bit of a sampler, and like it has some interesting aspects to it, but it's like, are you gonna do anything more with it? Are there gonna be any like boss encounters that demand more of this, or is it gonna like be this over and over again? Because that's like the fear is that doesn't really go anywhere with this battle system, and it's like this weird like kind of like you saw it, like you can levitate ability. You can use it to like break line of sight by dodging left right really quick, and then you can like rush down on your enemy. That it gives you like reward, like in-game battle reward currency that you can spend to do more attacks essentially, and use that move again and again. So like as long as you're doing it right, that's been like the crux of the Star Ocean battle system, is like you do what they tell you to do and you do it right, and it's kind of a little bit skill based and reactive based. If you do it right, it keeps feeding into that where like you can keep attacking, you can keep going all out, and it looks really cool when you're doing this. But like when you're not doing it right, it's kind of like, oh no, like I tripped or something, and it's not literally that, but like it feels like tripping, like while you're trying to make like a run for a race, and it's like it doesn't feel as good when it's not going as well. So it's kind of like either or. It's never really like in between, and it's like in that learning process, it feels a little bit messy at times. I think the environments look better, but the NPCs, like characters, maybe
Sure,
the main characters look better, but like NPCs still look pretty bad. And there's just, I'm worried about what you do in the environments, because you could use that launch thing, the rocket pack thing or whatever, to like reach high up places. There's a little bit more verticality in the environments, but I don't know if it has that sense of like wonder to like you can have more wide open spaces with less to do, but like something has to be like encouraging where it's like visually appealing or just visually curious to you. And it just looked good. And I don't know if that's enough. Like it was still like, oh, it's kind of flat terrain, or we're in like a canyon here, okay, or a ravine. It's like, what else? It's a bunch of rocks. Is there really anything here to explore? So I don't know. There's a lot of questions, and like I played almost. I played all but the mobile Star Ocean games. So like I'll definitely be playing it, but yeah, I just don't know if the series wants to be anything other than what it's always been. Which maybe for them is good, but as I said earlier, I don't know if it can afford to be that anymore, if they need it to be more than that. And if it is, I don't know if this next entry is really going to be that one. So I kind of worry about the future of Star Ocean and potentially like what might happen with Tri-Ace, because, man, I wish like I would love for certain studios to get access to Tri-Ace, because I think they can make very good battle systems. And it would be put to very good use if they were combined with someone else. But, we'll have to see.
The next day, one we do not have to worry about.
Oh, yeah?
Bayonetta 3.
Oh, wait, at the war.
Oh, yeah. I'm not worried about this game at all.
Yeah.
Well, they've had, like, big hits and misses at that company.
Sure.
But Bayonetta has been consistently excellent.
Bayonetta has been fantastic. Yeah.
It's been cooking for a while. So they've been taking their time with this. I'm pretty sure they understand this is like one of their flagship titles.
This is their flagship.
It has expectations behind it. And I think it's pride. I think that this is like their calling card game at this point. It's like the series. It's like no matter what happens with all the other projects, this will always be consistent. And this is why we remind people why the name Platinum means something, especially when it comes to character action or just combat in general. And I think they will do everything in their power to make sure that this lives up to that. Now, whether the other elements live up to it, I'm kind of curious. The narrative, being the theories surrounding what's going on there. I'm not too well versed in the Bayonetta lore, but
there's a whole multiverse thing going on, it seems.
And then it was fueled by
a multitude of other Bayonettas. That you had mentioned.
And it was fueled by that they changed voice actors. It's now Jennifer Hale is going to be voicing Bayonetta, which in every other language apparently, at least in Japanese, it's still the same voice actor.
It's like what they did with Snake.
Yeah, with the English Snake.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think that adds any more credence to the theories, but it has been cited, whether it's right or not. What do you think, Brad? I mean,
I think this game's gonna be so fun, dude. I'm so excited to play this game. Like story is like, I don't expect anything. I don't give a shit personally about the Bayonetta story, and I don't really care. But I hope it's cool. I hope it's good. I don't remember like anything from the first two games, but I remember they were super fun and the combat was awesome. So I'm really excited to play it.
I hope like the goofiness is there, like the over the top.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like that's all I ask.
Yeah, that's to me the crazy set pieces that game.
Yeah.
Like don't go too serious. That's what I meant with my fear is like, oh, we're gonna take the serious story a little too serious this time. We're gonna cut back on a little bit of that goofiness, because man, that intro when the taxi and then like they go come on, like,
I mean, like the first game you're fighting on like a falling building.
I need that.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be there. From what we've seen, like that spider thing looked awesome.
Will there be another Nintendo Easter egg in this? Because they
I'm really curious. They
did Star Fox level 2. They added costumes
in the first one.
Yeah, those are less like Easter eggs and more just like add-ons. But you think there's gonna be anything like? I don't think they've announced anything like that.
No, I think there'll be something.
Yeah,
something small.
Dude, what if? Because they have the kaiju fights, right? What if one of those kaiju becomes like Bowser?
Yeah,
got a Bowser skin.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I'm liking that.
That would be cool.
I'm down for that.
That would be cool.
Definitely down for that.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is that day you were interested somewhat in checking this one out potentially.
Yeah, I was gonna check it out if we needed someone to check it out. It's not my first priority, but yes, I was like, okay, I will do it. But the only reason I'm like more interested in this because the last two Call of Duties I've covered and played have been World War II Call of Duties.
Oh yeah,
and I always get the World War II ones, so I'm like, what is going on with the modern games? I just want to see. I know people really liked. I think it was 2019, the reboot or whatever, Modern Warfare. this is the sequel. I'm curious to see what it's all about.
Yeah.
But I think there's like some interesting stuff. They did like a third person mode now. You can have like third person.
I saw that at the event.
Yeah, I was
They were
like,
showing
what?
that off.
So I'm curious about that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess they're separate, but I'm curious how like Warzone 2 or whatever is going to all tie in. All
Yeah,
that kind of
I
stuff.
think it does have a separate date. I didn't
Yeah.
write down the Warzone 2.
I think that's in November, I think. But yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm really like Call of Duty campaign. I like to go through the campaigns of Call of Duty, so Hubris the last one was good, so hoping this will continue that.
October 28th is a big day. Resident Evil Village, the Winters
Yo.
expansion.
Yeah,
Let's
big day
go.
for us.
Yeah.
Big day.
We're going to be streaming that.
Big
Just
Resident Evil
FYI.
day.
Yeah.
Mark that calendar. And yeah.
Shocking that they're labeling it as the conclusion to the Winters
Yeah, I was surprised.
storyline.
Yeah.
It's
I was
like,
surprised.
oh,
You're gonna wrap
I mean,
all that up?
assuming it's like a time jump, because unless she ages faster than.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's going to be a somewhat time
No,
jump.
they've said how many years later and all that.
Oh,
yeah.
I wasn't saying anything specific. for
Yeah.
people.
Oh, I don't know.
But hey, yeah. Without getting too much into it, but yeah, like, yeah,
It felt like there's some unfinished business, so I'm wondering how they're going to wrap it all up so quickly. For a series notoriously that doesn't wrap things up very often, I'm curious.
Yeah. Well, and there's all this kind of craziness of like it's somehow like happening in her mind.
Metamycete or something,
whatever.
right?
Yeah. Or the Metamycete's
yeah.
mind, or it's a little wild.
Yeah, I'm confused, but that's all right. I'm curious about this because she has like some powers. So,
Yeah.
so I'm curious how that's all gonna play out. I think that's kind of cool.
And if we're going, how much we're gonna go back to any previous locations, or if it's
Yeah.
like a completely original new area.
Well, no, they've shown-
They've shown-
No, but
they've
like,
shown some
what
things,
else?
but yeah,
And how it'll tie
Which-
into other
which is-
characters. I'm curious about and
that's
all
the
that stuff.
my biggest
In the
question.
future.
If they're going that far, like how much can they really show any characters? Because I like.
Yeah.
Characters live. I mean, it's Capcom. They do not
Maybe
kill
Chris
off. They have
will
a problem with killing off their main OG characters. They'll
Mm-hmm.
kill off every new character they ever introduced, but they'll never kill off the OG cast. It's like Wesker's the only question mark because we don't know what's
dropped in a volcano or something, right?
Well, the remakes, we don't know what they're doing with Wesker yet, so
Mm-hmm.
he's not appeared in any of them yet. So because he
Not yet.
Not
He's
yet.
been in those.
yeah, but I mean, otherwise, yeah, they just Chris says many opportunities
Yeah.
where he thought he might not make it, and it's comes out smashing
Chris,
more
yeah.
boulders. Yep.
Yeah. And I'm just excited to see because it's like the furthest that we know of, I guess, the timeline and to see where the series maybe will go.
Yeah.
The ideas. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how long it is too.
It's leading towards Dino Crisis. Because they'll have the tech, they'll have the cloning tech and everything perfected, and then
I mean, why the hell not? I
Resident
guess.
Evil Dino Crisis.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
we
that's
can
how we
clone
make it
dinos
happen
or
for
whatever.
Huber.
I like where your head's at down
Also, like a space station. I think we're going to a space station in one
It's
of these
also
games.
possible.
Yeah. Or a moon base or something. We're absolutely going to space in one of these Resident
Third
Evils.
person is also really cool.
Yes,
that's a
that-
cool
that's in
addition.
there.
Oh yeah,
That's a really cool
the
addition.
extras to
Really
the main
change it up.
game. Yes,
And I think Rose is third also.
cannot
Yeah,
wait.
yeah. Her
Yeah.
expansion is third person for sure.
Cannot wait.
Yeah.
so excited.
Really
for third
cool
person.
addition.
Is the DLC third person only?
I don't know.
I think it is.
I think it might be, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing too with this stuff is like it makes me think that it's going to lean a little bit more into the psychological horror
Yeah.
aspects. So,
yeah. Visions and all that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Illusions.
you got a little bit of that in the middle of Village, but usually it's not where Resident Evil's at. So
Right, usually.
yeah, it'll be fun to see how they play around with that stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, Reverse.
Yeah, I'll play some of that with Mike. Maybe like an hour or two.
Up in
That'll probably be
Maybe,
it.
maybe an hour.
Is that just everyone's fizzle?
That's too obvious.
It's too obvious.
Too obvious.
Oh yeah, Signalis was my sizzle. I forgot to say.
Oh, nice. Yeah, good stuff there. Moving on to November,
Yo.
the Entropy Center, which Damiani and I just played a preview build of.
Very
It's Portal.
Portal inspired.
It's Portal, but with a time gun.
Different-
but it's
yeah.
cool. It's good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be cool.
Those
I
games
guess.
are hard for me to play for a long time.
Yeah.
Like just the first person perspective and like the
Right.
sudden movements of it. But conceptually, yeah, it's pretty cool. Although we were starting to figure out fast. It's like it's kind of like the same few gimmicks
Put
over and
boxes
over.
on buttons game, yeah.
Yeah, it was more like
They definitely hint at again Portal-esque, but like a development of the situation where you do puzzles for a bit and then things go hog wild and you got to just deal with the reality of things with this gun. So I think it's going to go places.
Yeah, the trailer clearly hints that there's more complex stuff.
Yeah.
But the demo we played kind of kept it a little bit simple, but so definitely has shown that is going to mix things up in a drastic way, so I don't think it'll get too mundane and predictable, which was the only concern during the demo. And they were like, oh yeah, the trailer, and they show it again at the end. It's like, oh yeah, it's gonna do all this crazy stuff. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the. I mean, they put it out there wide open. The Earth is blowing up. And somehow doing these puzzles gives you energy to rewind the Earth.
Yeah, so you reset the entropy of Earth.
But they keep trying to do it, and it just doesn't stick or something. I don't really know where that goes. Yeah,
I think they can only rewind it a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and all your experiment stuff they're doing there that you're solving your employee there is because you are trying to provide the entropy to the main one to try and rewind Earth. But the end of the demo had a nice kind of tease for okay. So I think narratively as well, it's going to be very intriguing.
November 4th, Harvestella.
Yeah.
One of our many farming sim games, kind of Rune Factory. What are you thinking?
This is
Donnie?
my fizzle.
Here it is.
This game was riding high when it was announced. So many people were very optimistic about this game, and then the demo came out, and that tune changed quickly. I feel like everyone on that I know I follow on Twitter who was into this game was pretty much like, it's not good, and I'm like, woo.
I was surprised people were so excited for it.
Yeah.
Right when I saw it, I was like, this looks not great.
I think there's one or two people I follow who are still optimistic on it and looking forward to it. But I definitely saw some people who are huge believers in the concept of it play that demo, just say, no, it did the opposite. It's convinced me to not play it anymore. And I'm like,
wow.
Ooh. And as you said,
that's tough.
There's a lot of farm simulation type games. There's just but this has the combat aspect. So I think this with the RPG elements, and I think this is why people were riding high on it. But I think maybe it's just, not well executed. It looked great in a trailer, conceptually it sounded good, but I mean, it's still not out. I mean, demo usually is, especially Square Enix, is usually reflective of what you're getting. It's usually balance updates and slight adjustments that way. The game's not going to drastically change between that demo release and the final release.
It won't.
Yeah, but hey, they have a ton of stuff coming out this year, so it's even something like this being a slight misfire is whatever. I mean, yeah, there's been some back and forth on some of the earlier this month releases with specifically Valkyrie Elysium has been kind of mixed with that as well. But you know what? Whatever. They got all these great games coming out, potentially great games. So it's a few are gonna fall. Not all of them are gonna be great.
Amount of games coming out.
And a few swimming sevens are fine. If it's swimming,
that's true.
That's okay.
I for one appreciate the sevens, the AA sevens we get. From Square Enix sometimes. I like those Tokyo RPG Factory games.
Yeah, what happened to that?
I don't know. They pumped out 3 really fast, and they're just. Bloop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope they come back.
November 8th. A little to the left. This game, it looks so fun and neat. I feel like this is one of those things that'll probably be best game to beat in one night kind of category.
Big kitty.
That's big cut.
Yeah, big kitty.
Maybe a couple of nights. I think a good maybe a good comparison is Unpacking from last year, because this game is all about organizational puzzles, and putting things in a correct order.
Yeah, and I thought that was pretty unique how they said there would be daily challenge things or something where it'll mix up certain things, so it's not always the same puzzle, or if you've seen a similar type of puzzle, it might throw a curveball at you. Also, a lot of cat pander in this.
Yeah.
Even though
there's a basket with all the cat toys, and you got to put them in there.
Yeah. Even though I feel like it is more just a general how it's house chore themed. I feel like it's stuff around the house, food cans, books. There's a desk. Yeah, there it is. You gotta organize things.
Yeah, they gave us a physical version of one of their puzzles at Summer Game Fest. It's bread tabs. That puzzle's in the trailer. Yeah.
Yep.
Just the thing. Yeah, the little plastic things that keep the bread bag closed. But yeah, and the art all looks really good and big and clear. I think it's going to be a nice palate cleanser.
And they said like even that key puzzle, they said there was like multiple ways to solve it.
Yes,
like that's
there
not
are.
like even that one was like by length is not the best way of the thing. Okay, yeah.
Stack of NES cartridges
Of course,
in there. We're
of
looking
course.
at the trailer right now, listeners. If you're wondering what's going on. And different art styles throughout. They talked about the cat will sometimes like come in and mess things up.
Yeah,
That's funny.
See, look at this maximum
do,
cat
man.
hander.
Yes,
Of course. Yes, this is exactly what they do. Come in here when you're in the middle of a meeting and jump on your computer and turn off the power.
I remember that happened.
Knock over the
that would happen to Ben a lot.
Knock over the keyboard. Yep, knocking over keyboards and stuff. Absolutely. Trying to go to bed and you forgot to put something away.
Yeah,
I'll let you know.
With the multiple solution thing, I mean, that was just like one of the fun stories I had from Summer Game Fest too. Is like I was playing that demo with them, and I was doing like I think the book puzzle. We're like putting the books on the shelf, and I did something where I was like going middle to out, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have that as a solution. That works. That's a fun
That's
idea."
cool.
And so
Oh.
like I think that might actually be another solution to do when the final
blood
game
solution.
comes
I
out.
hope it has an achievement.
Yeah.
Bloodworth.
Yeah.
Bloodworthy.
Bloodworthy.
Oh, I don't think they do anything like that. But and the daily things. I'm curious how the daily things is going to work out. For sure. Brad,
Yes.
Sonic Frontiers, November 8th.
Yes, this is my fizzle.
Tokyo
So,
RPG Factory news here.
Oh, yeah.
Following the release of Oninaki in 2019, the studio has been doing concept and pre-production on an untitled
Yes,
fourth
they
game.
live.
Yeah, they're still going.
Hell yeah.
So you said this is your what?
My fizzle.
Oh,
Sonic.
it's very interesting.
We're back on Sonic.
Yeah, because I'm hopeful for this game, but the history of Sonic has never been kind,
Right.
especially in the later years, especially in the 3D era. Not been good. So I have not played this yet, so I refuse to get excited and believe that it could be a great game. I think it could be a decent game. I think it's exciting that they're trying something different, I guess, with
Right.
the whole structure. I think that's cool, but
I'm
It's
not,
Sonic, baby,
I'm
so I'm
not sold
cautious.
on the open world.
yes, I'm very cautious. I'm not sold on this yet, but I will absolutely give it a fair shake and play it.
Yeah. I've been crapping all over this game left and right. But the more the time has gone on, people who play it and see more of it keep saying positive things.
Yeah.
So I feel like the historical trend is on its side right now. It's like pushing it upwards and upwards. It's on an upwards trajectory. So I picked this as my sizzle. Because I think I'm like, yikes. Went a little too hard on the negative. It's like I gotta take it back now when it's praised by everyone when it comes out in November.
Oh, man.
So yeah, I'm a little nervous that I have to eat crow because it's trending upwards there. But everything both of you said, I believe that firmly. But outside of us, I feel like maybe other people are seeing it in a different light and feel way more positive on it. And I don't know, it's like always expected for this to be of a Sonic game,
Yes.
especially one that shows like questionably out of the
Yes.
gates. But I don't know. There's something about things that seem to be like obvious failures, but the developers keep plugging away at it. It seems to have a way of like they eventually reap the benefits. And
I don't know. Sonic Team's been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, this is 3D Sonic, but I mean, 3D Sonic team is kind of like due for a win at some
That's
point.
true. Like, they're due.
and
You're
you know
right.
what?
You are right. They're due.
Not just a broken clock, just any clock is right
And
twice a
Sonic
day.
has
Yeah.
got momentum right now.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. That collection didn't do so well. People
Oh,
were
See, that's
Yeah,
the
that
reverse.
would-
That's the reverse, Brad.
Yeah.
The thing that was obvious to do so well failed. So the thing that's supposed to do bad is
Hey,
going to do
maybe.
well. It's we're getting a curveball
I
here.
refuse to believe though until I play it. I
Hey,
refuse.
Sonic. You said Sonic building up momentum. That's all he needs. Gotta go fast. You
Maybe
got it.
it's got to do a lot.
We could skip this one probably.
November 9th, God of War Ragnarok.
Yep.
Obviously, the sizzle
I just
for
heard
me.
Huber's shout already.
Yeah.
This is
Ragnarok.
this cannot not be the sizzle for me. It's like very expected, but it's like, damn, the quality is very good. I hope this is the end of God of War for a long time after this. I hope this wraps
that's
up the whole
interesting.
saga. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you need to move on from God of War now after this. This should be the end of Kratos' story. Whether he dies or lives or whatever, I think they should move on for a little while. Maybe come back.
Huber had such a good theory about that.
Well,
Which
don't
I
say it.
realize is a spoiler, so never mind.
Don't say it.
Spoiler theories.
Say with spoiler mode.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's one of those games that obviously you just assume is going to be great and don't really think a whole lot about.
Yes.
But man, that last trailer
Was very good.
it was like, whoa, this is a trailer.
I'm ready to be surprised.
Yeah.
Big time.
Really
High
looking
budget.
forward to it. Really like some of the new traversals stuff they showed.
Yes.
The chain swinging and
Yeah,
all of
that good stuff. Yeah.
Really, looking forward to that combat system, like pushing back.
Fleshed
on
out
you.
more
Yeah, yeah.
and stuff. Yeah, totally.
Stuff they were talking about with the shields, different shields
Yeah.
having different abilities.
yeah, depending on that. Yeah.
The elemental thing they talked about, I'm like still a little unsure of because like,
Oh, they have like build up kind of things, or
well, you have the triangle button. Which
Oh,
is like the
right.
elemental attacks, and like we sort of already had that in
Kind
a way,
of,
right?
yeah.
But
Well, I mean, if you've got an ice, a fire, and presumably a lightning weapon,
yeah, yeah,
who's to say? It could be kind of cool.
yeah. Actually, I have those like the Muspelheim challenges.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta like juggle between 3 weapons.
Wasn't triangle the boy attack? Like, make the boy attack button?
maybe.
I think that's to like call your axe back.
Oh, okay.
And so if you have the axe, you don't need to
Yeah,
call it
he
back.
might have been
Yeah.
trigger button.
Oh, okay. I was trying to
Maybe.
remember.
I can't remember. Yeah, I'm curious to see like what the side stuff will be like, the exploration, how much bigger or I guess maybe just better designed it'll be.
Yeah.
Because like I played through the last one pretty recently on PC, and it was great, still really good, but I could definitely feel like some things they hadn't figured out yet all the
Right.
way, or I would want more, is especially like exploration, going through some areas.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want God of War to be full open world.
No, it doesn't need to be.
But I feel like when you went to like some of those other realms, that I was a bit disappointed in the scope of those.
They
Yeah.
are. A lot
I
of them
felt
are.
like your central realm was so much bigger and better and more fleshed out and more little side things to explore. Whereas those were like, all right, you go here, you go beginning to end, you come back, and you're done with that place. Or, or like some of them were just essentially like challenge zones, which it's cool to have those challenge zones, but to say that like this is the entire realm is like, okay.
Yeah.
Your entire
Yeah.
realm is a challenge zone? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Totally, yeah. So I have very high expectations for this game. So hopefully they deliver.
Yeah. 2 days later, November 11th, Tactics Ogre Reborn.
Yes.
Brad and Isla both in on this
I
one.
should have made this
Very
my sizzle.
excited.
I'll give it a little sizzle. There's a little skosh.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this game.
Sizzle nod.
They've made a lot of changes to this version of the game. There's like a whole, I can't name everything, but there's like a whole, a bunch of quality of life things are changing just to make some things a little less annoying and easy to get into. Great tactics game, cool story, fantastic game. I think Triangle Strategy I played earlier this year was very good. I really liked it. And from what I remember of this game, it was very good also. So I'm curious to see how they'll both stack up against each other this year.
Yeah, I echo everything Brad was saying, and also just I'm really happy because so many of these remakes, Suikoden included, kind of do the 2.5 HD kind of vibe, Suikoden is kind of doing that, I guess, but this, I love that they kind of kept the graphical style kind of similar. I'm really excited for this. I loved this game as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously the hope that they'll eventually get into
Final Fantasy
tactics
Tactics? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure they
as
will.
they pump out a billion tactics games.
Every other tactics game.
It was on the leak thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm tired of hearing about that blasted leak.
That
Just
leak's
do
been-
it.
One that came, everything's come true
Yeah,
so
that
far.
leak's been
I know,
very
I know.
accurate.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
true leak. I'm just saying, buy a lot of copies of this so that they'll do Final Fantasy
Yeah, buy
Tactics.
many copies.
So they put more money into the tactics.
True.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy Tactics.
What gets me
effort.
excited about if this game does well is they've done a lot of adjustments to this game, like balancing also, and tactics could definitely use that. Final Fantasy Tactics could
Yeah.
definitely use that.
Did
so.
the PSP one get some?
Some,
World
but
Alliance?
could still use something more.
Yeah. The calculator is broken, which I love, but whatever.
Brad, tell me about Pentiment. You got to check this out.
I
recently,
did check this out. It is a fascinating setting. I don't remember what year it is, but it's in Eastern Europe, I believe.
Middle Ages.
yeah.
Middle Ages. Really cool art style of you are solving a murder mystery from what I remember. So you're going through this medieval setting, talking to people, making choices that matter. I believe one of the things they talked about is you're solving a murder mystery and you can maybe select someone, even if you just don't like them, for them to take the blame. Just interesting choices like that. It's from Obsidian, who I think is a great developer. I think it's one of Microsoft's best developers, honestly.
Yeah, they've been
And it's just like,
really good.
Yeah, it's just such like a weird ass game that I'm surprised exists, but I'm happy it does.
Yeah. Well, and they said that it's something that they weren't sure that they would be able to sell
without Game Pass.
But Game Pass sort of, gives them the pass to like, hey, let's do this weird idea that we've had sitting around for a while.
And I don't play a lot of narrative like adventure games, so it's always pretty refreshing whenever I hop into one, especially when I think that looks so good in such a fascinating time period in history.
Yeah.
The graphic style is so beautiful in this.
Yeah.
Like the illuminated manuscript kind of vibe. Man, we were talking about this the other day during the Grounded stream, but like Obsidian is so cool. They just get to do like such different things.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing too is that Obsidian has kind of historically had such good quality, but have always been sort of paired with like lower budgets
Budget and time.
or like just rough development arrangements. And so now that they're really kind of getting room to breathe, I think we're starting to see
the quality.
their true potential. And it's, I think, probably one of the best Microsoft acquisitions that there's been so far.
I agree.
So many of the
sure.
others we just haven't
Seen anything
seen
from
bear
it.
fruit
Obsidian
yet,
is
yeah.
pretty frequently delivering content. I mean,
What's
they're
the-
having 2 things come out this year.
Yeah, it's nice though that like a lot of companies like this, it feels like they've got their A projects and then their like B projects that are always kind of whatever. But like Grounded is stellar, and this looks really good. And they're working on Outer Worlds too.
And Avowed.
And Avowed. Yeah, I forgot about Avowed.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is like Avowed, I think, is the big one.
I think that's
Right,
the big,
yeah.
Whereas Outer Worlds and Pentiment and Grounded are all just these small little teams
Yeah.
that are just killing it.
Yep.
So good.
November 17th, Goat Simulator 3.
This will be a good time. Just a good time. It's going to
Yeah.
be wild.
There's not a lot to say about Goat Simulator.
Pure chaos.
It's a wacky sandbox physics nightmare, but now it's got multiplayer, so you'll be able to like wander around with your friends and screw with each other. Put jetpacks on a goat. And just the fact that they just jumped straight to 3.
Yeah, I love that.
I love it. Just humor and mechanics, I think, is a good way to put it. November 18th, coming a little late.
Little late.
The Dark Pictures anthology, The Devil in Me.
Which might honestly,
right.
maybe that's good. Because, like, it's a crowded Halloween.
Well, they just had a game like months ago.
Yes,
They did.
true. The Stadia
Yeah,
exclusive
pumping their
that
games
became
out.
something else, but yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if I wonder now if they knew and put it out. Because, Corey was going to be that. But, yeah, this looks really cool. I don't know. I'm looking forward to streaming it. I don't want to know anything else. It's about the H.H. Holmes like murder style stuff. But I think modern, I don't know, looks sick. I'm jazzed. Also, there's a new chapter of Man of Medan that
Yep.
I want to jump into.
We talked about it like last week, I think.
Yeah, crazy.
They made they next gen version and then they threw that in there along with it.
Bonkers.
Yeah, that's cool.
That same day, completely different vibes. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Curious as hell about this game.
Bagel Dog.
God, Pokemon, I want to like Pokemon so much. I want to, but every time I give it a shot, dude, I'm like, man, I don't like this. People said good thing about Arceus, whatever the hell it's called. This looks like the next evolution of that, so.
And the open world looks a lot better. Yeah.
Yeah. Intriguing, obviously, but the astute Pokemon veterans who are able to eyeball that some of the quality of life changes from Arceus are not making it into Violet and Scarlet is a little concerning to someone like me. because the more streamlined Pokemon gets, I think the better for everyone it is. But feels like there's kind of like an A/B test where like Arceus is the A test, this is the B test, and like after they've both come out, they'll take the feedback and we'll get the new evolution, the real new evolution with the next entry after this. But yeah, like at least as much as you want to like throw out like Game Freak as a developer doesn't really like push anything. This kind of pushes back. 2 games, I know they've had help, but like 2 games in a year, in a calendar, roughly a calendar year that like are just pushing Pokemon to be like more expansive and trying out some different things. Arceus definitely felt different. It definitely felt fresh and different, but maybe it wasn't exactly for someone like me, but there are people out there who've been playing Pokemon games forever who really liked what they were doing. Like they liked the catching, they liked the research, they liked all of that kind of like more deep dive into the world of Pokemon. Whereas I think my interests lie with like maybe them like doing more with like the combat and like the gym systems. Like let's expand that a little bit and do a little bit more with that. I like having more like measured goals that aren't simply like get to this research level, like beat this Pokemon gym and get this badge. Like that's more the formula I like. And I want to see them maybe like mix that up a bit and make it a little bit more exciting. So, I mean, we'll see with this. I mean, I think it's like,
well, they talk about like multiple like big story things to explore and
they said like there's a different, you can go in different order, so that's like a good promising start. But at the same time, as I said earlier, just some of like the battle experience and all that like being still the old way, whereas in like Arceus it like happened out of, once you finished it would just like pop up on the side so you could just keep moving on and on. Like anything that slows it down into like to a crawl, like I kind of like that turns me off from Pokemon nowadays. And I don't know, there was enough time, maybe they're deciding to change it, but I don't think they will. I mean it'll be the probably best selling game on Switch this year. Just how it is with Pokemon.
It might not be. I don't know.
What do you think's going to be bigger than it?
You're talking about new releases, though? Yeah. It could be.
And
Splatoon, though, is killing the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
just
not
wait for the
Pokemon.
first month. It comes out on the 18th. Wait for just like 2 weeks of sales from Scarlet and Violet. It's probably going to be near the top right away. Not just like the month. I'm talking about for the year. It's going to shoot right up.
November 22nd. We got a couple games coming under the radar here. Evil West.
You can't keep track of these West games.
Yeah.
There are too many.
Anyone throwing the word West in your title, you're doing yourself a disservice.
You gotta stop. It's the new Souls, frankly.
Right.
It's a new Chronicle or Chronicles.
Yeah.
Chronicle.
Let's make a game called like something West Chronicles Souls or something, you know?
But yeah, this is from Flying Wild Hog, who did Shadow Warrior, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, and this game to me, when I see it in motion, like is actually surprisingly good looking. Mm-hmm. Like it seems really solid.
Yeah, it looks fun.
It's third-person shooter. It's set in the Old West, but it really like it's got so much else going on for it with like all these like Tesla guns and like big old weapons and just all kinds of craziness going on, and you're fighting demons and vampires, and like he just in the trailer he does like this chain attack with like 4 things that get linked together and electrified.
I love chain lightning.
Yeah. It's just like I said, it's going under the radar. I think it could be a fun little setup of a game. Or whatever.
I don't mean this in a bad way at all when I say this, but it reminds me of a game from the PS3, Xbox 360 era, big time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's like a Gears of War clone.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, my expectations are set. Could be a good time.
Well, not exactly Gears of War because it doesn't seem to have cover stuff going on.
No. But I'm just saying a game from that era. I feel like it would have been out around then.
Because you do, I do see them just like go into
third person crazy shooting, then punching dudes. Yeah, definitely.
Oddly enough, there's another day where like things sort of have some similarities. That same day is Gungrave Gore.
Right.
Did either of you play Gungrave on the PS2?
No.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of familiarity with this franchise. There are 2 PS2 games, and then now this Korean company has brought it back. I think they did something else a couple years ago, and now through Prime Matter, they're releasing this sequel. and it's got these anime gunslinger vibes. The original games, the character designs were by one of the guys that did Trigun.
Oh, okay.
So you kind of
getting similar vibes to
Yeah.
Vash Stampede here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and yeah, Grave here. He's got the twin pistols, but then he's also got his gigantic weapon
That move, dude.
that's like chained around his back.
Dude, this also looks like a PS3 360.
Yes. Blood, I don't know why, but this reminds me of Shadows of the Damned. It's not like the setting is not the same, but it just kind of gives me that energy.
Yeah. Yeah, and that big weapon, like I can't really like figure out like what all it can do. I do think like it reminds me of like Nicholas Wolfwood or something with his big cross, you know, because it's like at 1 minute he's like firing rockets out of it, another minute it's got like
Taking
a saw
pistols
blade
out of
coming.
it,
Yeah.
We got a Metal Gear right there.
It's going all in.
Yeah.
The thing, and I'm sure that they've probably shown it, but the thing that like keeps standing out to me is like I feel like every time I see a trailer, it's also very quick. That like I want to see a
See
more
what it's
extended.
like for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, see like a good longer shot of it.
Yeah, the last two, Gungrave definitely looks a little bit more interesting to me.
Sure, yeah.
Just slightly.
Yeah, it's a little bit faster paced, it seems. Although I think Evil West it's still more fast paced than a lot of heavier third person shooters. But yeah. On the 28th of November, we got a WoW expansion.
Yeah.
Dragonflight.
I'll be
Brad.
there. I'll be playing. I've played every WoW expansion when it came out, so
I feel like
I'll check it out for a month.
I haven't heard anyone talking about this. Like I've gotten the
Well-
Blizzard updates, but
They just had Wrath of the Lich King come out, classic.
yeah.
So that got some attention, and Overwatch 2 just came out, which has gotten a lot of attention. And yeah, I mean, WoW expansions and like the WoW player relationship with Blizzard has been very strange, I should say. So I understand why people aren't exactly super hyped. I think right now it feels like everyone's ready to just get the hell out of this expansion they've been in right now and just move on to the next one. But everyone's cautious. Everyone's been burned before, so we'll see. Everything looks more simple from what I've seen this game, and not with like a million systems that get in the way of the game. So I'm hoping it's just a nice back to basics kind of thing. Just keep it mellow, play it cool, Blizzard.
November 30th. Warhammer 40K Darktide.
Yeah.
Sequel to Vermintide.
Good time.
This is gonna be so fun.
It's gonna be a good time. Yeah, we really liked Vermintide.
Got to
Yes.
play some of this at Summer Game Fest. Just those dynamics. Just that
40K
sense of
setting's cool.
Yeah.
playing together,
Yeah.
and like everybody having to like really be on top of their roles.
Yeah,
With a character creator this time too.
Yeah.
Wild.
that is wild. That's fun.
I was telling Blood earlier that my brain was like confused by the 40K setting because I was like, I'm looking at Vermintide, but it's guns and sci-fi. Like, what's happening? But I don't know. I'm jazzed about it.
Yeah, and you do have melee weapons.
Yeah.
as well
of course.
mixed in there.
Of
so.
course.
Yeah, and that's actually kind of a interesting like dynamic of figuring out like, okay, when is the good time to bring out my melee weapon? When is a good time to be using my gun? Like,
Yeah, Vermintide had stuff like
identifying
that too.
those enemies.
Yeah, like Vermintide had like there's characters with guns and stuff too. But yeah, it's
And
always
the
fun.
crazy Twitch integration that Vermintide.
Always fun.
Oh,
And,
so good.
Always fun.
That makes it so hard. Or we just have a mean Twitch chat.
I think that's everyone's Twitch chat.
Yeah, I think so
They
too.
want to see you suffer,
Punish them.
and I
Punish 'em.
respect it.
We've got more news and games to come, but if you've been enjoying this show so far, please take a second to like and subscribe and ring that notification bell. It helps us and it helps you stay connected. And now, a word from our sponsors.
What's the first thing you do when you wake up? Is it check on your credit score? I didn't think so. But at Chime, that's exactly what they do. With their secured Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card, you can start to build credit with your own money. Chime reports on your payments to credit bureaus to help you build credit over time. Their members see an increase of 30 points on average. All of this with no annual fees, large security deposits, or credit checks to apply. So, start your credit journey with Chime. Sign up takes only 2 minutes and does not affect your credit score. Get started at chime.com/allies. That's chime.com/allies. chime.com/allies. The Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card is issued by Stride Bank N.A. pursuant to a license from Visa USA, Chime checking account, and $200 qualifying direct deposit required to apply for the secured Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card. Regular on-time payment history can have a positive impact on your credit score. Impact to score may vary, and some users' scores may not improve. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply except at MoneyPass ATMs in a 7-Eleven or any Allpoint or Visa Plus Alliance ATM. Chime.com/allies. This podcast is also brought to you by Honey, the easy way to save when shopping from your iPhone or computer. Seriously, get Honey. It's free, no risks. It's great. I use it. You get a code. It's fantastic. I love shopping. I love spending money. Honey saves me money by applying promo codes. Thanks to Honey, manually searching for these codes is a thing of the past. Because let's face it, I can't be bothered. I don't do it. I'll just eat the extra money. So having Honey do it for me saves me cash because I'm lazy, I guess. Honey is the free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. Imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite sites. When you check out, the Honey button appears, and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. You wait a few seconds as Honey searches for coupons it can find for that site, and if Honey finds a working coupon, you watch the prices drop. Saves me lots of money on clothes and tech and stuff. It just anytime I see it pop up and it says like coupons, I'm just like, oh, heck yeah. Synths are expensive. 10-15% off on a synth? That's big time. That's good stuff. And it is free. Honey is free. Honey also doesn't just work on desktop, it works on your iPhone too. Just activate it on Safari on your phone and save on the go. If you don't already have Honey, you could straight up be missing out. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this show. I use it. I love it. You should use it and you should love it. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/allies. That's joinhoney, HONEY.com/allies. Thanks.
And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. All right, one more month, but it's a quick one. December 2nd is looking pretty hot. The Callisto Protocol.
Yeah, man.
Getting
Hell
in
yeah.
there. Some Dead Space veterans.
Yes.
There are also some Dead Space veterans working on Dead Space, but these guys, before they knew what EA was doing, they're like, hey, we want to do this.
Yes.
We want to get back in there. We want to make some space horror, and we want to make a lot of gory deaths.
Yes.
But yeah, what are you thinking so far?
I'm extremely pleased from what I've seen so far. I'm very excited for this game. It is the spiritual successor to Dead Space, going back in the direction I approve of, unlike Dead Space 3, which I absolutely hated.
Yeah.
So what we've seen in this looks great. I'm all in for this game.
Yeah, I'm not too terribly into this game, but
interesting.
It definitely.
You're into all the Resident Evil.
Okay, so I've been trying to quantify this for the longest time because Brad asked me this earlier because there's gore. I think there's a difference between comical, like ridiculous gore, and visceral, realistic gore. This type of game is like in your face, trying to like get under your skin type gore. Resident Evil is like it's stupid. It's like comical. So I think I can handle that stuff and it's fine. But stuff like this, it's like I don't really want to play too much of this. What was the game that Hubert tried to call you out for? The Infernax.
Yeah.
Like, same thing with Infernax. When I saw the trailers for that, I'm like, I mean, it's still 2D, but I'm like, this is excessive and like I don't like this. Like that's what it is. But seeing the trailer, I can definitely appreciate how enthusiast this is speaking to them. Like Brad's reaction and Huber's reaction to this have been like really good, and looks like it definitely has the vibes of OG. Dead Space, excuse me, because I don't forget the second one completely, and the third one is like everyone like said no.
Second one was good still.
Yeah,
Okay.
second was, yeah.
And what was the light gun one? Was that any good?
Extraction.
Oh,
Extraction.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Is
Yeah, it
actually
was.
good.
It
Yeah.
was good.
So a return to form for maybe the proper remake will be as well, but like just having people work on another similar type game is kind of like nice.
I think this is more exciting to me. Like, I'm very excited for the Dead Space remake, but this is exciting because
okay.
it's new. It's something brand new.
That's good. That's
like,
a
it's
good
going to
point.
be, similar, but it's like a new setting, new character, new world, new lore, whatever. I'm into all that.
Yeah. Isla, how are you feeling about Callisto?
Wait.
I'm excited. I'm excited about it. Yes, I similarly am a little trepidatious, but I think hopefully it'll be really good. I famously there were a lot of things about Dead Space I loved and a few things I really, really didn't like all the backtracking and stuff. So I'm very hopeful for this and the new Dead Space, and I hope they're both great.
A game that I actually think will be really good, but I have a hard time getting excited for. Midnight Suns.
Midnight.
Yes,
Suns.
I
Won't
agree.
you
I'm the same
come?
spot as you.
Yeah.
I think this game will be very good. probably.
Firaxis, XCOM devs,
Yes.
doing a Marvel game.
I'm just not super into Marvel,
Right.
so it's harder for me to get into it, but I think it'll be a very good game.
I
Yeah.
am super into Marvel, and I'm super into XCOM, and I'm super into Firaxis. So I'm really excited for this game, but the cards thing, man, I just don't know how it's gonna function because it's
That's fair.
obviously XCOM, you have the percentages, you don't hit every shot, whatever.
Yeah.
There's some randomness in there, but you have your skill set and you know how to utilize each person. And so I'm just very curious how it'll impact the strategy if certain things are under the whim of which cards you have. But Slay the Spire, etc. There are a lot of really great games like that, so it could be awesome. I hope it's great.
Yeah, they just need to show off be more convincing with the cards and stuff, because I'm in the middle ground there where I care about Marvel, more MCU than anything. But and this this type of game interests me. But yeah, once I see cars, I get very skeptical about it. But yeah. As we hum the tune, though, this game this has been in my head because I know it's so obvious. But I was trying to think of a line to follow up the main chorus, Midnight's it's a black hole sun. It's so it's Midnight Sun, won't you come and let me play as Blade? There you go.
That's so good.
Oh
Yeah. That's a stinger.
And that same day, December 2nd, maybe it's just the release or the reveal hype, but Need for Speed Unbound.
Yeah.
There's my sizzle right there.
Hell yeah, blood. The racing guy.
I'm really curious to see what this new Criterion team brings to it. I really like the vibes of it. We don't have to repeat ourselves. We just talked about that game for a while. But yeah, I'm interested. Want to get some hands on Need for Speed. Usually, even the bad ones usually have still some fun parts to them.
Cool.
Yeah. December 9th, another game you guys got to check out, Dragon Quest Treasures.
Yeah, dude. I'm in. I'll play it.
Fun little side game.
Yeah, Brad was into it.
I like Dragon Quest a lot.
Your reaction.
I don't think this is going to be an amazing game or great game even maybe, but it could be good. I had a good time with it.
I remember when it first was revealed, or maybe it wasn't revealed, but when I first saw it, I was I mistook it for a port of a mobile game.
Yeah. Oh,
because of the way the UI looks.
It's
yeah.
Switch game. Switch only.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not like a looker, I'll say. It's not a looker, but
It's also a prequel, you're saying?
yes.
To
11. Yeah.
11?
Yeah.
So I mean,
Eric and Mia.
that'll get some people interested in
Yeah.
it for sure, just on that premise
It's a
alone.
very whimsical looking game about looking for treasure. And I'm into that. That's cool.
Yeah.
But it is a crowded time, so.
Yeah, one of the things I think one of the things too that kind of gives me those mobile vibes is when you you find those treasures and you bring them back to this vault screen.
Yes.
And it's just piles of gold coins fly down.
Yes.
Man, another Square Enix again, December 13th,
Here we
Crisis
go.
Core.
Yeah.
Here we go.
We also played
Union.
this.
Clap for that.
Yeah, we also played this. And it was good. It seemed.
Yeah.
So I haven't played Crisis Core since PSP. It's been a very long time for me, but it seemed to control better than what I remember. It feels like there's been some adjustments, maybe because I'm holding an actual controller in my hand now and playing it.
For sure. That alone is
Makes it a big
worth
deal.
the price of admission.
It looks way better too. This has been a very good remaster.
Yeah.
Like if you see the comparisons, they look
Yeah, it
so
seems
much
like they've
better.
really done a lot to rework it.
Way
Yeah,
higher frame
it looks
rate.
really
so-
nice, and it like ran well on Switch as well.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, nice.
Like they did a very good port job from what was the same thing that was playable, and then like just in line of like addressing things that might have been like kind of a headache. Like there used to be the boss attack
attacks.
thing used to be something that you just had to get hit by in the OG version. Now you have a chance to interrupt them or at least mitigate some of the damage, which is like just they took that into consideration. And then like I think there might be something different about the Lucky Sevens or whatever is going on with it. Someone in our comments, our preview was pointing out something that looked a little different. I'm not too as familiar with that mechanic, honestly, but it does seem like they're making like some other quality of life adjustments there too.
And it's just nice to get a game that has been stranded on the PSP, never been re-released in any way.
We got Final Fantasy Type 0 HD before, which is like mind-boggling to me.
Yes.
I mean, I know why, because that was a Tabata thing, and that was... Well, he worked on this too, technically, so I don't know why. Okay, now I don't know. I just killed my own point. But the best part of this is like the tease, the question they posed to fans about whether like this is just like has anything to do with like the weird crazy theories of FF7 remake / rebirth.
They're
It's
true.
like is this just
They're
a
not
straight
theories
remake?
anymore.
Is Crisis Core just a remaster or whatever, or there's gonna be
What's
a little
gonna
bit
be
different?
different?
Was there gonna be new
What's gonna-
different
a little
stuff? And it's
sprinkle in
like, oh, okay. So even if nothing is different, you're still gonna be like thinking about that the whole time. Like,
especially
what's
with
waiting for me?
Rebirth maybe a year away from this release or around that time. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Play it.
Also December 13th, High on Life, which, man, I've been banging forth on this game.
I'm not into this game.
Oh,
at
is this
all.
the one that had the
This is the
one
Rick
with
and
the
Morty
talking
talking
guns
to
in
the
the faces?
I don't like
Wasn't
this
its
game.
last showing like a little not
Right, the
great?
boss fight was a little like...
It's this game's humor and vibe is just not for me.
Yeah, I mean, visually, like the aesthetic, it's like it's impressive, but
looks great.
Mechanically, I was like, the
boss fight was
not
not so
interesting.
great,
yeah, fortunate.
I think there's
Huber was into this though,
potential there, but
Yeah,
I think
like,
Huber was
I
into
think
this.
they put out a statement saying they were like, yeah, maybe that wasn't like the best gameplay. Also, we heard your feedback, so like maybe they're doing some adjustments. It's still not out. It's got 2 months from now, so still plus however long it's been since that showing. So like they have some time to tweak it.
yeah, it's interesting because it's like just the hook is supposed to be the guns talking and joking around the whole time, and that's also the thing that could very well sink it.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. I mean, I was arguing earlier. It's hard to change like a core concept like that short of time. So maybe sadly it's fate sealed. But who knows? We'll see.
And then one last Square Enix game, December 22nd, Valkyrie Profile Lenneth, which was supposed to come out with Elysium, but got bumped.
Wonder, yeah, I know what it got. Excuse me, it got delayed. But also now, it's considering kind of like the lukewarm reception to Elysium, I wonder if maybe it wasn't kind of done to like space them out, because I think this one has a better reputation for sure.
It does.
And they maybe wanted to like, I don't know, because now if this one came out and people are like kind of like mixed on it, does it like people get disinterested now? Or people are like, oh, I still have Lenneth to look forward to.
Maybe.
Like that's the one I really
think-
want.
Were these sold as a bundle or no?
You can buy them as a bundle.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you'll be able to buy it separately also. It's not, you don't have to buy the bundle, thank God, to get this game.
So that's why I think maybe it's like this could still do well, but like if it was put with this, like bad, like they might have got lumped in with the same thing as being it's bad, but like wait, no, not Lenneth.
I mean, I don't know what they expect from these games when they're releasing so many so close to each other.
Yeah.
It's like the Dio Field and Valkyrie Elysium were a week apart from each other.
So weird. Yeah.
Well, and that's again
And
December.
there's 3 Square Enix
Almost
games.
half of the games we've got
why.
listed are Square Enix
Getting
games.
bought.
We know why, because next year we
They're
got
getting bought?
Forspoken. No, I mean that actually
That could be it.
could be it. So sure, maybe, but I think the more realistic answer is in like next year they have Forspoken, 16, possibly
Rebirth.
It's like end of year, best case scenario, and it's like those are 3 juggernauts right there. Do you like there's any 2 of those? They're set for like the year pretty much.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like I wish they'd waited on like a few of these for next year, maybe to give it a little more time.
Sprinkle it in between. Yeah, I think, but yeah, maybe there was some sense of urgency with that.
Hey, maybe they got that Tokyo RPG Factory game coming in for me.
Yeah.
So wait, was Elysium a new game? And,
Yes.
Yeah.
Lenneth is
a
the
remaster.
PSP game.
the remat. Oh, so it's not even a remaster of the OG Valkyrie profile?
Yeah, it's a different game.
No.
Oh, okay. Wild. Okay.
Yeah.
That might be part of it. I'm like, this is kind of confusing.
You know what
It
else
is
we just realized? We never got like the Starshin 2 PSP version. We got First Departure. We didn't got second.
Oh.
Second Evolution still is like, where's that's the one? That's the good one. It's like, why are you not putting out the good one yet?
What was the PS2 one? Was that 3?
No, yeah, that was 3. It was till the end of time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that's another mind-boggling thing. But yeah, sorry, just reminded me.
That's our fall. And then coming
Good
Stacked.
fall.
in the spring, the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yes.
Yeah,
We've been talking about this all day today, so we don't have to go too deep into it. But we got that first teaser. We did reactions. It's looking good.
Good teaser.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Definitely need and want to see more, for sure. But I mean, I was pleased with what I saw. You know, it's always gonna be weird seeing a Mario movie. I guess this character you've known for so long in a movie, but it looks like, hey, they respect it. They're working with Miyamoto, I guess, for like they said like 7 years they've been working on this movie.
Yeah, that was
So
a crazy revelation.
I'm
there.
really curious to see how it all comes together.
Yeah, I never really wanted like a one-to-one adaptation. I kind of like them taking some like
Yeah, I mean, you don't
different
need to because it's
yeah.
Mario. There is
Yeah.
like
So
But it
yeah.
does feel like that, like standardized Mario model. You know, like they've kind of kept him very much the same for a long
This
time.
is like the most change
Yeah.
Mario's had in a long time. Since probably went to 3D. It's like from 2D to 3D. It's like probably like judging by people's reactions. But yeah, like I don't think it doesn't. I'm on the fence where the side of the fence where it doesn't really bother me that much. Like I'm actually welcoming, you know, some of these changes, and like I was like, well, definitely was not turned off by hearing Chris Pratt's voice of Mario so far. I'm like, okay, well, it wasn't much, but I was like, okay, yeah, it's like not the worst.
It's, what to me, it's like, yeah, it's fine. It's like, obviously you don't want to listen to like a caricature Chris Martinet style like waha the whole time, but it's like Mario's a high energy guy, you know, and Chris Pratt's just kind of like, here we go.
Mario's kind of high energy sometimes.
I don't know. I'm
He
just
falls
like,
asleep a lot.
if you're just gonna,
Yeah.
but if you're just gonna like
Luigi
cast a guy to be himself and be Mario, Chris Pratt wouldn't have been my pick. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, sure.
That's
it,
fair.
It was definitely an Illumination type.
Oh, of
like,
course.
pick, but
Yeah.
I do think I was most impressed with the Mario segment was pretty good. The Bowser opening segment was
Yeah.
like, for me, knocked it out of the park.
Oh,
I was
that was
like-
amazing.
I was like, okay, if this is the vibe and tone you're going for, and then like it was kind of complemented by the Mario sequence as well. Like it's like this delicate line of like it's a little bit serious. It feels a little bit more serious than like Mario games, but also it still's got the comedy. It will have the lightheartedness to it. I'm like, okay, they're doing it, and like this, the work is like the hard work is paying off here. So yeah, and it definitely and then like the kind of like silent Luigi section, we don't hear Luigi talk just yet. You know, showed a lot of promise as well.
Yeah.
This definitely felt like Nintendo's hand was all over like what they were showing. This felt more like a game reveal trailer in terms of like the pacing and style than like a movie trailer to me, because it's like the most with the Bowser segment was like the most movie part, and the rest of it's like, yeah, like do any movies really do this where it's like it feels like they're gating so much information and stuff. Like this feels like they don't want you to see zones and stuff like a game or characters because it's a game. It's like yeah, but it was nice. It worked. I think it's a special case, and it still was very effective.
Yeah, I had a cheeky little tweet, but like I didn't get to say what I thought of it. I thought the first half of the trailer was amazing. Like the flying island that Bowser comes in on, and the penguins were super funny. Like the visuals I thought were really good. I'm really excited for this movie. I think it'll be super cool.
Yeah. It looks phenomenal. Just yeah.
Yeah.
So I
a
really
little too good.
yeah. Well, that's the thing that I was saying when during the reactions. The thing that sort of throws me off is that level of facial animation, and it's like their faces are moving so much more than the models typically do in any game.
You're not used to it. This is how it should look.
And
It's running on a Switch Pro is why.
This is a Switch 3.
This is Switch 3 in 20 years.
Yeah, this is Switch
maybe 30.
Yeah, Switch 2050 edition.
And the other thing too is and maybe it's like partly the influence of seeing the actors right before you see the thing, but it's like once Bowser started talking, I was like, I just see Jack Black in
His
the vocal
face.
booth, and I see his face. Like, it just, animators are really good about capturing that stuff.
They
And
are.
sometimes it's a little too good.
Sure.
Yeah, that is such a good casting choice, though. Like Jack Black, like his history, Tenacious D, and like the game stuff he's already done. It's like this is like perfect vibe.
I personally think, that his casting is very good.
I like Toad so far from what we had.
Yeah.
I was like very excited and stuff, and like obviously that's gonna be your companion guide. Like that again, Miyamoto Nintendo. It's like
he's
here's
going to be there right along the whole
Here
way.
you go.
Yeah.
But he's like that's for the viewer. It's like we need someone to guide us through this world, and
Here's the Mushroom Kingdom.
Oh
God.
Yeah, I was telling Brad, like, as much as I liked the first half of the trailer, I was like, I could even just take this whole movie just being a Bowser movie, like,
Sure.
just good development there.
There's gonna be spin-offs,
And-
baby.
So many characters we haven't seen yet. Like, they have so much left to show.
Yep.
And can't wait to see. Like, it's, yeah, I think this is a very smart way they're rolling it out. I think, and I know some people are rooting for it to still come out this like Christmas, but I think it coming out in April right now. I think this is gonna be a huge movie. Like I remember when it was supposed to be coming out in December, people were worried about its performance. That might not do that great. I think it was always gonna do well. Now I think it's gonna be like this is like gonna surpass Sonic levels of like.
I think this will.
This is easily gonna become the biggest, highest money making video game movie ever.
I think the thing here with the Mario movie is that Sonic and a lot of other things, it's like they're afraid or they don't want to put the budget in to something that's going to have a fully animated world. And that is the key. This whole blending of like animated characters and live action like so many times is like it doesn't do it for me, right? Like they did the same stupid thing with the Smurfs. I'm like, I've got no interest in the Smurfs being in the real world. I do not care.
Or was it the Chipmunks recently?
They
Wasn't
did do
one?
that.
Yeah.
That one's a little bit better, but same thing.
Yeah, and like Chip and Dale actually did it really
Or
well.
sorry, Chip and Dale. That's the one.
Yeah,
Chip and Dale.
That was actually a really great movie.
Yeah.
But it kind of on the sidelines it raised a lot of the same questions. But seeing this world, having them in this world, having them feel like you're exploring something that's just like bonkers. And a realization of the Mario universe that you just don't even really see. Like even in the games,
Exactly.
you don't really see it this way.
That's I think the most. The thing I feel is going to be most rewarding for someone like me is just seeing things that were never they've never really explored in Mario games before that a movie allows them to do, and like craft worlds that they just never went there, and like having just slightly different perspective, because how even just when the poster was dropped, how different the Mushroom Kingdom looked from anything we had seen, like familiar but so distinct and so
it's
unique.
Peach's Castle, but it's on this crazy hill. Yeah,
I like this is what I love, and like now with the Bowser airship, it wasn't an airship, it was this island moving in, and like the ice world, is it the Ice Kingdom? Like what? Like it's just these crazy things they're doing, and it makes me really excited about this and potentially like what they have down the line. Like we're not even finished with this, and I'm like already like, yo, what do they got next? Like this is great. I want keep this rolling.
Yeah, well, and this idea, I mean, it's almost like a Final Fantasy idea, right? But this idea that Bowser's coming in for the star of this Ice Kingdom, this Penguin Kingdom.
Oh, yeah, the crystals.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, so we're gonna go to the whole Yoshi like dinosaur world and see a world all full of all of that, Super Mario World style, and then go to someplace entirely different, like the Forest of Illusion in there. That Dry Bones area looked really different.
Well, and I could see a sequel to this being Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
Sure.
Like,
Or a spinoff.
Spinoff. Like all of Bowser's treasures get scattered to the four corners of the world, and Toad has to go get them all.
I just can't wait to see like those possibilities. I can't wait to see. We haven't seen like there's gonna be underwater stuff in this. Like how they envision like just the underground. Like they're like these.
We
cool
have to
things.
go to the underground. What's
Yeah,
it
like
gonna
these
look
iconic things. There's so much, and like. Are these multiple? We talked about. Are there multiple kingdoms? Like, I don't know. This is what I like. This is why I'm so excited about it because it's just like, yeah, you get like new worlds in 3D Mario games, but I think this is just something they wouldn't really try in a video game. They can try this in a different medium, and that's why I'm like excited that this opportunity exists.
Here's the other thing, and maybe this is too crazy. Maybe this is like Spider-Verse levels, but it would be really cool to me if they pulled in some of these like not really side things, but like if you pulled in like a Paper Mario world.
Oh, I
if
see.
you pulled in like a Yoshi's Island like crayon
Mario
sketch
Maker.
world.
We're gonna Mario Maker it where you get the different styles.
Right. You know, like they go down a pipe, they pop out, and like, where are we at now?
I thought for a second you were about to say we're gonna bring in like digitize like Bob Hoskins and we're gonna have Lou Albano like the multiverse like you said Spider-Verse. I'm like you meant art styles, but I thought you meant like
right.
different versions of Mario. It's like
I don't mean like a literal multiverse.
Yeah.
I just mean
yeah.
I would love a nod though.
Yeah.
I want to see at least a little nod to the Hoskins.
100% will be because it's also Universal owned. So there will 100% be some kind of nod to the OG live action Mario movie somewhere.
I think someone in chat for Don's Hangout this morning said this, but that like a little radio or something will be playing "Do the Dinosaur" or something. Like it's just something subtle, you know.
Yep.
Or somebody says "Trust the fungus" or something.
Yeah.
I want them to acknowledge it somehow.
Oh yes.
Yeah, because they've got the little antique shop with the little pixelated items and all of that there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could definitely throw a nod in for sure. Last big headline, well, actually it's more of a small headline, but it's something that was like I was writing it also this week, and it's too dense, and we won't talk about it a whole lot. We'll actually talk about a little bit more in Love and Respect, but CD Projekt Red.
This is a big headline. I feel like.
Yeah, well, it's a crazy week. So that's why I'm
has declared it's a medium headline, Brad.
Well, I'm not saying it in terms of like its newsworthiness. I'm just saying that like in terms of like how much space we have for it. But CD Projekt Red had an investor relations briefing, and they just laid out just I don't know like the next decade of what they're gonna do. And they put out like all these slides of all the different projects that are in various stages in the works at this company. And there are multiple studios now.
Yes.
And that's one of the things to get into. So Project Sirius, which is a Witcher game being developed by the Molasses Flood.
Okay.
Who they recently acquired.
Okay.
And
is this going to be a Siri game then with that code name? Is that a little too on the nose?
No, I don't think it is. They talked about it being like more broadly available, maybe having multiplayer and stuff like that.
Maybe the other project will be.
Yeah. Project Polaris, this one I think could probably be the more Siri thing. Because they talked about, this is okay, I'm getting things mixed up, sorry. Project Polaris is the new Witcher trilogy.
Okay.
That's 3 games planned to release within 6 years.
That is extremely ambitious.
Yeah. It sounds like they're looking at the engine because now they're going to be working on Unreal 5.
Yes. That seems very too ambitious, actually.
They're working on just like essentially just like they're going to advance the technology, but it's all going to be basically based on the same platform.
Yeah.
And so they'll put out one game, and then they'll put out the next game, and then they'll put out the next game, like every other year, Assassin's Creed style.
I guess maybe the scope will just be much smaller. Like when I think of their games now, I think of very large, long games.
Yeah, 100-hour games.
Yeah, maybe it'll just be a lot. Maybe it'll be like a 30-hour game or 20-hour game or something.
They're all like named after stars and constellations, so it's really funny. Project Canis Majoris, which is another game in the Witcher universe, coming from an unnamed external developer.
And like that could be anything. I think of like Gwent games and stuff like that. It could just be something like that scale.
Absolutely. And that's the same thing too when I think of the like Molasses Flood game. Like they did the Flame and the Flood. Like that was a pretty small scale game. So this Witcher game could be similarly scaled to that. Project Orion is the new Cyberpunk game.
A new one, yeah.
Yeah, from CDPR North America.
What's Boston, or is this
They're
one?
Boston and Vancouver teams. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Project Hadar, which is the big one, is an all-new original IP that they're building in-house.
Oh, it's their IP?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, obviously, like, Witcher and Cyberpunk
we're not
are licenses
theirs.
that they've gotten, like, basically taken ownership of The Witcher.
Yeah.
But this will be all theirs.
All new.
And
Yeah.
along with all of this, Marcin Iwinski, I'm not sure how to pronounce, sorry. I've met the guy multiple times and I don't know how to pronounce his name. Joint CEO, he's been the face of the company for a long time, is stepping down from the executive, but he's taking up a new role within the company. So I don't know if he's going to be directing one of these games.
more creative maybe.
Or what he's doing.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Didn't specify that.
And they have they have the expansion coming out for Cyberpunk too.
Yeah.
It's like, good lord.
Phantom Liberty, I think it's called. Yeah.
This seems like a lot of work. And that's 6 years, they were saying.
6 years. Well, yeah, those games coming out within 6 years, yeah.
It's crazy. All three of those games?
Yeah.
That seems crazy. I don't believe it. Not with their track record. No way I don't believe it. Unless Unreal 5 is that easy for them. I don't know. But
Right.
I'm excited. I like this developer. So hopefully, make sure your game's done, though, before you release it.
Yeah. Hopefully they've at least gotten there. But that's we're going to talk about it a little bit more in Love and Respect. And then they were just here, like literally in this room. Radic was in town, and we got together, and so I gave him a little studio tour. And yeah, like that's one of the things we were talking about is like, yeah, with the stuff we've got coming down the line. But this is before the briefing.
Oh, okay.
Come in and do some demos that aren't around all the craziness of an E3 or a big event
sure,
or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like that. And so yeah, we might be seeing them frequently with this many games in the works.
Yeah, cool.
Also this week, 4090 graphics cards are going out to critics, and they are gigantic.
Yes.
Somebody put a photo of one next to an Xbox Series S, and they're basically the same size. The 4090 is actually a little bigger.
Wild.
And some of
big-ass case.
the other ones, the third-party cards, are even larger
Oh my
than
God,
the Founders
dude.
Edition.
It's like big as a PS5.
I don't know where you're getting these cases.
Yeah, good lord.
A lot of people are going to be buying these cards and not realizing, and they're like, I got
Gotta
to
get a whole new
get
case.
a whole build. Brad, you brought this one up. Tsukihiko Katakawa, chairman of Katakawa, which owns From Software and as well as and then two other employees.
Yep.
They've all been arrested on bribery charges.
Oh, shady deal.
Yeah, so shady.
Involving the organizing committee behind the Tokyo Olympics.
Yeah, so crazy.
He's resigned from his position. Obviously, they're going to have a whole lot of fallout from this.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Wow.
Were they bribing or being bribed?
I believe they were bribing.
To what end, I wonder, aloud?
I don't know. It's wild.
Wild.
I haven't followed all the story, but worth noting.
Insane.
What, Brad? You've been following Overwatch 2.
Briefly, or trying to, kind of.
Been enduring DDoS attacks.
Yes.
Several days. They've also come under fire for this phone number thing.
Yes, some games have stuff like
Yeah.
this. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, Dota 2, I'm pretty sure you need a phone number, but only for competitive play, I believe. Anyways, the whole process is to help keep cheaters out of the game.
Yeah, but the problem is they were excluding a lot of phone numbers.
Yeah, like a lot of prepaid phones and stuff like
yeah,
that. You
and
couldn't
a lot
use.
of people, it's like, no, this is just my phone plan. It's not a burner phone.
Yes.
Get out of here,
Play over.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of games are probably going to get more stuff like this as time goes on.
Maybe.
You laugh now, get ready.
I think they were talking about it with Call of Duty, maybe.
Oh,
as
yeah.
well,
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
But they've reversed
expanding.
expanding.
I believe if you had the game originally, it does not required now. But things are updating pretty frequently, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, it feels like every couple of hours there's a new update on Overwatch 2 today.
They've been going through a lot.
Doesn't get enough anymore. They need my phone number.
But yeah, there are a lot of people that are upset about that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like so overtly classist.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like punishes people for not.
Yeah, I can't play your free-to-play game
Right.
because I don't have the right phone plan.
Right. It's just absurd.
Fandom has purchased former CNET group that includes GameSpot, Giant Bomb, GameFAQs, and Metacritic. So far, it seems that people's jobs are safe, but there's a lot of nervousness about GameFAQs in particular.
Oh, yeah.
Because Fandom has a reputation of just nuking pages that aren't doing traffic. Mm-hmm. So people put a lot of work, put a lot of time into writing a wiki, and then they come back and they find out that, like, oh, you know.
GameFAQs is a very, like, extremely text-based. I don't know how. Like, I know there's still people that really like that kind of stuff.
But there's, like, stuff that's been on there for 20 years.
Yes, a very long time. That's where the guides were.
Yeah.
Mario Sunshine.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a piece of
history
there, and also in addition, not just nuking pages, they put all these like video overlay crap all over their wiki entry pages. So it's like, are they going to try and like convert some of those pages and it's going to become like a pain in the ass to use GameFAQs when it's like it's been its thing? Archive.org. Please upload all of it there immediately.
Yeah,
it's all text.
I'm sure they probably have most of it already, but still, it's...
I'm pretty sure these were bought for much cheaper than they have been in the past.
Yes, that was another part of the story. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of that type of industry, you know, is dying. That kind of games media is kind of dying in a lot of ways, sadly.
Yeah.
But it's just a different world now. Just like with YouTube out there and stuff, and like YouTubers are like, that's where people go now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Chat points out the Giant Bomb wiki also. That very extensive.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
They do have that.
They have a lot of like archive
characters and stuff.
Like publisher images. Profiles and dev stuff too. Yeah.
Old assets from press kits back in the day.
They're usually one of the first results when you go like, so-and-so, what games do they work on? Giant Bomb's definitely like one of the first 5 results that comes up for stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like GameSpot might be one of the safer ones, maybe, if you're working at GameSpot. I don't know, though. I don't know how many employees they have, but I just...
I mean, GameSpot's huge.
It's like IGN and GameSpot are like the two
Giant Bomb
ones.
just underwent like a big change recently for this. GameSpot had, like, keep thinking they have, like, layoffs. Like,
maybe they do. I have no idea.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like the only one I've ever heard of having, like, layoffs yet, unless I just missed it, was, like, they're not part of this, is, like, IGN seems to be, like, the one that seems to always be, like, kind of shielded so far. They've been passed around a little bit, too.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Their hands have changed a few times, yeah.
GameSpot's had a few layoffs in the past couple of years, looking it up quickly here. Yeah.
Yeah. Oof.
Obviously, Game Informer also.
Yeah, they did too.
Yeah,
Game Informer's
been having a harder time because of GameStop. Yeah,
GameSpot had some in 2020. It looks like.
Yeah. GameStop in particular, like it seems like they have like this weird sense of like fairness in layoffs, and so it's like, oh, our company's not doing well, so we'll lay off people from your magazine too, even though it has nothing to do with how the magazine's doing.
It's like Zorg in Fifth Element. He's like, lay off 1 million.
There's been rumors, just rumors for now, but fairly seem to have some weight behind them, that Horizon Zero Dawn will get a remaster.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And on the way, as well as a multiplayer Horizon game potentially in the works.
Yeah, because the first game they were toying around with that idea, having multiplayer, but they cut it.
So
this thing I'm curious about is if it's going to be like a native PS5 version of that game, like how they did like Days Gone or something. Like here's a PS5 version of that game, or if it's going to be more. I know the rumor is there's like a few adjustments maybe here and there.
Yeah, well, character models and stuff being a lot better and all that kind of thing.
I don't think this is going to be necessarily on the scale of The Last of Us Part 1 or something like that. I mean, I honestly hope not. Do something else, I guess, but
that's been the kind of
with the
gripe is why
Bloodborne.
Yes, of course. The whole thing with they're like tying all these into the TV shows and everything that's coming around. They're all trying to be around the same time,
right?
But yes, not a very exciting thing to hear.
Right?
It's like I understand, I guess, from a business standpoint, but it's like not exciting.
Right. And have they put that on PC yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Horizon's been on PC for a while.
So you would think they would have
It
done
was like the
with
first
that.
one, I thought.
It was
Yeah.
one of the early ones,
Yeah.
Well, there was no PS5 at the time.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like rather than just putting the PS4 game on PC, then like, oh, if we're also thinking about doing this remake, why don't we just do the remake as the one to go on PC too? But I don't know. Crazy one you might know more. Isla,
Yeah.
lead staff at Disco Elysium developer have been pushed out of the company, including the lead designer and writer Robert Kurvitz, artist Alexander Rostov, and writer Helen Hindeper. Yeah.
Very, at least the way that this information came to me was very odd. It was like a different. One of the people was saying that we're closing down this community thing, and also all of these people have been pushed out by the money people, and like obviously that's the huge news that the whole creative team, like the lead creative team behind Disco Elysium, is just gone. And so that's kind of what everybody's been talking about. It's just, that's all the information I have too. It's all very weird and confusing, but it's just unfathomable to me, money people and their brains. Because it's just like,
I mean,
we love this creative work. Let's make more money on a sequel by firing all the people who made it. Like
the writing is that game.
Right.
That's like all the game
yeah.
is.
The game is a novel. It's like a Tolstoy novel.
Getting rid of your writers is kind of weird.
And you can't do that without
Yeah.
that team. Like, come on.
No.
It's wild. It just melts my brain. I can't even think about the logic behind it. And like, even if the creatives are not saying this is the case in this case, but like, the only logistical reason I could think of it is if like the creatives are so difficult to work with or something, blah blah blah. But it's just like, I don't know, deal with it. Like, you're not gonna make money, especially with something like Disco Elysium, where it's like such a niche, like intellectual, like artistic, political, like the people who liked this game are gonna hear about this and are not gonna take kindly to it. You know, it's just weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like the next Marvel blockbuster, right? Like,
Exactly,
what are you even doing
yeah.
with this franchise?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like, why did you buy this? Good heavens.
And then sad news, Rob Smith passed away last weekend. He was the editor of PC Gamer, OXM, OPM, worked at Machinima a while back. I'm not sure what he was doing most recently, but he's been around the gaming journalist scene for decades and decades. Worked with Keighley, heading up the Games Critics E3 Awards. He's a fantastic guy. He will be missed. It was wild. One of the wild things to me was like just the photo that Jeff put up of him is like, oh, I was there with him when that photo was taken. So yeah, I didn't know him super well, but he was always a good guy to be around. It's time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
From Son of Sparta. Did CDPR learn the wrong lesson from Cyberpunk? With a recent barrage of new project announcements and their update on Cyberpunk 2077 selling over 20 million copies already, do you think they might have learned the wrong lesson from how the launch went down? It seems like instead of waiting to have something concrete to show for their new projects, they are doubling down on announcing games too early and building insane levels of hype and anticipation before release. To make matters worse, they've even given a very, in my opinion, unrealistic release schedule for their new Witcher trilogy, which doesn't seem like it'll be healthy for the developers or the final quality of their products. So what do you guys think about this? Do you think this is a sign of CDPR learning the wrong lesson from Cyberpunk 2077 due to the massive success despite the bad launch, or is this them trying to be more transparent and recruiting more easily for future projects?
I would say yes and no. I think they've learned some lessons, I think, by maybe changing their engine, and they are staffing up hard way more now.
Yeah.
So they're prepared for that. But I do wonder of them just being maybe thinking that they can get away with stuff more now. They still sold a shit ton of copies with that game.
Yeah.
Even in the state it released in. And like the anime obviously is paying off for them and everything like that.
Paying off big right now.
Big time,
People are
so-
playing that game.
It's hard to say. I don't know. Like, I kind of think it's neat to know what they're doing for the next 10 years, I guess, and I guess it doesn't really bother me knowing that. It seems like some game developers are just doing that more now. Like Ubisoft just been like, here's 3 Assassin's Creed games. They're going to be like 10 years.
Right.
Here you go.
But I think, like, in this case, for CD Projekt Red especially, like, a lesson learned is that we learned about these things from an investor meeting, not from an E3,
Right.
like, CG hype reel,
Yes.
you know, 7 years in advance. So I think that's a good lesson learned.
Yeah, I think to me that's the main thing with this, that it maybe, some people are seeing it as a news headline, right? And so they're getting the information the same way they otherwise probably would have, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just reading the news and like, oh, why'd they announce all this stuff? But I think that is actually the key thing, is that, like, they're telling their investors, they're giving their investors confidence in, like, the direction that they're going,
Yes.
and the future that they want to go in.
Yeah.
But they know this is going to get out.
Yeah.
No matter
Oh
what.
yeah, no, it's not about it
They
not
know
getting
that.
out, but I think it's more about that, where, like, we had a big fail, and we lost a lot of confidence. So, like, this is them trying to bring that back.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's mostly how I see it as well. Except I do think specifically the Witcher trilogy thing seems extremely unrealistic.
Yes, I
Just
think
considering
they are being too
the
unrealistic.
scale of the games and as you said, they went on a hiring spree, but, like, that doesn't always guarantee things happen faster. And even if it's easier to use a new engine, and it means a better product in the end, doesn't always mean faster development time. I'm not trying to compare skill levels of coders. I have no idea. But, like, Square Enix went through this for a lot of their projects with, like, Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake switching over to Unreal as well. And sounds like those games, I mean, we know they turned out, but it sounds like from internally they were, like,
Much
help
easier.
things out.
Yeah.
But those games didn't come out any faster being on those engines that people consider, like, easier to use than, like, their in-house stuff. So that's where I think, like, maybe that's, like, they're being a little too, ambitious there, like a little too optimistic about that. And I think that's the big red flag one. It's like, I would have been more believable if they said over the next 10 years, we're shooting to get 3 Witcher games out. I'm like, that might be doable. And that sounds like a little bit more believable. And it's a good thing to say, because, like, hey, we're not like, Witcher is still very important to us. We're going back to it. And it was when they were doing, after the launch of Cyberpunk, I said, this is absolutely the move they have to do. Like, one, they have to try and repair the damage they did with Cyberpunk. They need to immediately pivot to a Witcher game as soon as they can. Like, the next game has to be a Witcher game to, like, rebuild that trust, and it has to be good. And that's the other part. It has to be good. They haven't really they've been improving on each Witcher entry from what I understand. So it's like the next one, mainline one,
it's got
has to maintain that at least. So I feel like putting such, like, a short time frame on that as well also, like, isn't a good sign either. So mostly positive stuff. I think, and I understand, like, the context in which this was released. They knew it was gonna get out, but also, like, we're trying to be this is more about being transparent and help rehabilitate our brand and image and earn back that trust. But the Witcher part is just, I don't understand. Like, I just don't know how they're going to do that.
Yeah, that just seems like no. It feels like to me they know they can't do that. They're just saying it anyways.
Okay, that's right, Brad. It feels like that might be
Or
the
there's
little.
going to be, like, 3. I mean, the way it even sounds is like it feels like there are going to be 3 kind of cookie cutter games in a way.
Yes.
It's like,
That's fair.
they're all going to be built on the same battle mechanics and all of that
like
stuff,
what-
and it's just going to be about new story and new terrain.
Yeah, what was, like, the Mass Effect trilogy time span? I'm trying to remember. I know that was a while ago and they're different
Right.
games, but I'm just thinking of, like, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
that
but
release
it's just like
schedule.
development time on those level of games has just increased
Yes.
so much
Yes.
in recent years.
Even if they went for, like, the shorter route, like I think you were saying, Brad. I mean, I think there has to be, like, a middle ground between, like you were saying, I think 20, 30 hours, and, like, there've been 100, like, hour games. Like, 50 hours would be, like, maybe a sweet spot to shoot for, or, like,
Yeah,
between
maybe
that.
that's where it comes down to is
Yeah.
like we realized that this one game was too long,
Yeah.
and we might be able to do better if we put out
Trim some.
multiple shorter games.
Mass Effect was 2007, 2010, and then 2012. So 2-3 years between each.
Yeah,
Yeah. I think, though, that's going to take, like, some, like, a lot of their, like, attention and, like, efforts to kind of get that sweet spot. Because hearing about trimming down a Witcher game, a game might send some of their veterans into like a frenzy about, wait a second, you're gonna cut it down, like. That might, cause some concern, but like
Not for me.
Yeah,
I think you can cut some Witcher 3.
but they convince people like, no, it's still gonna be like very satisfying. It's gonna be very long. It's just like not as super expensive. At least maybe through like the critical path of the game. It's like you only get to take about this long to beat it, and then there's extra stuff if you want to keep going extra or something like that. But all this seems like fine tuning that like they're not. You can't like 6 years to accomplish all that. Like if they're gonna change,
if
up
you
the
know,
formula.
like part of this too is like if you know and sell the investors on it, you can, like it's very different knowing you're making like that you have the green light for 3 games instead of seeing how 1 does and then do you make 2 and 3. So like you can make plans for the 3rd game while you're doing stuff for the first game. Like, okay, the 3rd game takes place in this region, so we'll just build it out at the same time we build the whole map for the first game. Like stuff like that. I imagine they can do that'll save time overall. Like the 3rd game probably will take less time than the first because there's less R&D and everything, So it's like, who knows? Maybe it's possible.
Yeah,
I think too, it makes me wonder whether they'll have any kind of expansions in between, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just like rather than doing the expansions that they did
that are massive.
Yeah.
Go right into
because really Witcher 3's expansions were like sequels essentially,
Yeah, Blood and Wine was huge.
Yeah. And you could go into that game and if you bought like the collector's edition or whatever, you could go into that game and you could just play the expansions and never play the base Witcher 3 at all because they had it set up that way.
Okay. That sounds like that might be more.
So it seems to me more like, that is sort of maybe rather than doing these expansions to a base game, we're just going to make 3 games of equal length.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Maybe that's more doable. So I just thought maybe they were going to like try and push for like, more with each subsequent entry. I don't know.
No, I mean, because you'd expect that
Up
because of a sequel.
until the misstep with Cyberpunk, I felt like it was always expected that a new entry from CD Projekt Red would like set a new high bar.
Right.
So simply doing what you're saying, wouldn't to me be meeting what those expectations.
Right.
But at the same time, maybe they do have a plan around this, and if when they officially unveil these games, maybe that's the expectation they are going to set for that. So I think that's what they have to be very careful for. If that's like the plan, is setting those expectations. But at the same time, we could all this could be like wrong, and they were just trying to like sweet talk investors to like, yeah, this sounds good because like to investors that's fine, and like usually I would assume investors are a little bit more like forgiving. Oh, it slipped in a year, but you still made me a lot of money. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Where fans are like, they haven't announced this officially yet. It's a project, but like we don't have titles or anything. And like when they officially announce it, it's like, oh, one's coming out in 2024 and the other one like 27 and 30. So it's like, oh, wait a sec, that's a little bit, that's 6 years, but it's like not 6 years from now. So like that was way longer. I could see like people being more like the consumer being more okay with that because they were up front when they unveiled them. This is what we're planning, and if they hit those milestones, they're still good. So I think they're just talking to 2 different audiences right now because they have 2 different goals, and with investors, they're just trying to secure that financing.
Yep.
Yeah. From the champ, hey, has a demo ever persuaded you to purchase a game? Recently, publishers have been releasing a bunch of demos: Valkyrie, Star Ocean, Wolong, all games I had no interest in, and now I'm sold. I bought Valkyrie, and I plan to buy the others. Has this ever happened to any of you? Or the opposite, has a demo ever turned you off from a game?
I think the BioShock demo for the first game got me into it because I didn't know anything about like
what the heck is this? Yeah.
previous works or anything like that, and I just played. I was like, "Whoa, this is really cool!" So
Yeah,
definitely that.
it's a good one. Resident Evil 4.
Oh, the demo,
that's a
yeah.
great-
Nintendo
great
Power
demo.
sending me that demo disc for GameCube. I had no interest in Resident Evil, and all I knew about RE4 is like, oh, it's some like cool, like it's got better visuals or something. And it was like whatever.
Those games looked great on GameCube, dude.
Yeah, and then like actually it was sent to it, and like I think it even had like a note like you should really try this out or something. And I was like, okay, whatever. And like I played it, and I was like, oh my God, this is good. I was like, well, I'm going to buy this immediately when it comes out. And I remember going, like, telling everyone, dude, Resident Evil 4 is so good. I was like, yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was, like, probably, like, one of my earliest memories of playing a demo as well. I can't remember anything before, other than, like, kiosk or whatever at stores. Like, this was the first, like, at-home demo I can remember, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because, like, if you think about kiosks, like, yeah, one of the earliest ones is, like, Link's Awakening. It's like playing that at Toys R Us.
Hey, I don't remember that.
Yeah. Because my mom worked at Denny's, and right next to that was Toys R Us. And so, like, a lot of the time, you know, like, I would just have to sit around the restaurant, just be in a booth while she was doing side work or, like, in a company meeting or something like that, and be like, Mom, can I go to Toys R Us? Can I go to Toys R Us? And I'd go over there, and I'd play their... It was like a big plastic Game Boy that they had. And yeah, and then the and then the screen there, and then you could, you know, they had Link's Awakening as one for a period of time.
My first memories are like the N64 kiosk, and those are just like their own little thing.
Same Toys R Us, I went for there.
But I was already sold on those games before I even played them. Like Mario 64, I was like, oh, this is awesome. I can't. I want the game now. But
no, like Toys R Us had Mario 64 like months.
Oh yeah, that was
before. Launch.
We had fall break in our school system, and most of my fall break was going to the Blockbuster. We went on a vacation. It was I think it was like Palm Springs out in California. So we didn't live out here. We're fly out here to visit here. There was a Toys R Us near where we were staying. And most every day I asked, could I go to the Toys R Us to play more Mario 64? Instead of they care about anything else. It's like, yo, they got, like, because I don't think they had it at the kiosk by where I lived. They had it at one out here, and I was like, yo, this is so cool. I want to play this. But yeah, now seeing Bloodworth ask for that, it's like, I just imagine little Bloodworth going in there, and the Toys R Us is like, he goes, I got the codes. Codes. That's where he got the codes. Yeah, the origin of codes right there.
But that was the entire reason I ever got a Game Boy. Because I was not really interested in the Game Boy, but wanted that Link's Awakening.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotta go where Zelda goes. Just the rules.
Isla, any demos for you?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, speaking of Zelda, when I was sick, watching Omar play Breath of the Wild sold me on getting a Switch. So that's definitely not exactly a demo. But MGS2 sold me on buying Zone of the Enders just so I could play that damn demo. I was very excited. That's like how I went to see Dreamcatcher just to see that Animatrix short. I had no interest in Dreamcatcher. Same thing. But Zone of the Enders turned out to be sick too. But yeah, plenty. I can't think of specific examples or don't care to say them. But like lots of demos have sold me on. Have unsold me on games. But that was the one that always comes to mind. The MGS2 demos.
Yeah. Or sometimes a demo will have the unfortunate effect of like not unselling you on a game, but being like, I've got my fill.
Yeah, that was enough.
I scratched that itch.
Yeah.
I think that was last one for me. That was like probably like Bravely Default 2.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I get that.
It's like, yeah, I played it. I think I get it. I don't know if I want to play this for like 50 hours. I'm good.
Yep. Let's play a game. Oh, from Alexander Arts. This is number 4 of Lost in Translation, where we try to guess correct titles of games translated from Chinese to English with the infamously inaccurate Google Translate. The first person to say the full English title gets the point. These are all games that have been recently discussed on Taiwan's top gaming news site, Bahamut. The previous winners, Game 1, Brad. Game 2, a 3-way tie between Brad, myself, and Isla. And Game 3, also Brad.
Yo.
So Brad's got the advantage here, but we'll see how it goes. All right, the first game, probably an easier one, nice warm-up. The Callisto Agreement.
Callisto Protocol.
That's such a better title. I want the
Callisto Agreement.
Please make that your title.
And you can definitely jump in here if you know him, Isla.
Oh yeah, that was just quick.
Yeah. Now we get harder. Fall into a dream.
Whoa.
Fall into a dream.
I don't see how you're going to get this. I just honestly don't know.
News.
These are all recent games?
Yep.
Okay.
Or recent or recently discussed.
Oh, recently discussed. Fall into a dream.
Call of Duty.
Like Kingdom Hearts 3 or something? No.
I'm gonna give Damian one guess. We move on. I don't think it's happening.
No. Nope.
Dolmen.
Not a chance.
Whoa, dude.
Not a chance in the world.
Why are you talking about
Dolmen?
Dolmen, dude.
Dolmen?
Hell.
Into a dream. Okay.
Okay.
Great title, though.
Death Returns.
Deathloop.
Deathloop. Yeah, that'd be a good
No,
one.
that's not it.
On the right track.
Okay.
Oh.
Death's Door? No, that could translate directly.
What was that? Oh, I can't remember game titles.
Not super recent, but still pretty recent. It's a pretty big game around here.
Oh, Elden Ring?
Oh, Returnal.
Oh, Returnal.
There it
Great pick,
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. Damn it. I was like, it's that roguelike shooter. I can't remember it.
I got no
Great
idea.
game.
I got no idea you're gonna get this. You're not going to. The True Colors of Rivers and Lakes.
Yo.
Life is Strange True Colors?
No.
That would make sense.
That would
makes
make
too much sense.
That would make too much
Say
sense.
it again.
The True Colors of Rivers and Lakes.
True colors of rivers and lakes.
My God.
What is like? What was there like a fishing game or something that came out, or like a driving game?
I'm just gonna put you out of your misery. There's
Heart of Stella.
There's no way. There's
not
no
that.
way. Max Payne.
Huh?
Dude.
What?
Sick.
I don't know how. I don't know how that
That's
got there.
incredible.
That's awesome.
This one I can see, but I don't know if you're gonna get it. We'll find out. The Key to Time and Space Dimensional Journey.
Like key space dimensional
Quantum-
journey.
Whatever.
The Outer Wilds.
That's a good guess.
Good guess.
I'll say it's not a new game, but it has been newly released.
Sorry, say that.
Alan Wake.
That's a great guess. I like that.
Good guess?
What? Sorry, could you say?
The Key to Time and Space Dimensional Journey.
Huh?
Last hint, it's a classic.
That's not a hint, blood.
That's not a hint.
It's Chrono Cross.
Oh.
Oh, I wouldn't even think of Chrono. I guess that makes sense.
All right, easier one. Indoor roller race.
Oh,
Roller
Roller
Champions?
Roller
Roller
Drone.
Drone.
Drone. Damn.
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 Oh, I don't even know what this word means. Okay. Lang Cat.
Stray.
Yep.
Yeah.
Damian got one.
Yeah, it is cat.
Come on.
Of course, you get the cat one. Yeah.
This is ridiculous. Fright.
Please be like something like business simulator.
Yeah. Resident Evil Village. I don't know.
More recent.
Oh.
More
More
recent.
recent. The Quarry.
There it is.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought Fear, but that's too old.
I love this. This is a good title. War of the Furious Sea.
Dude.
Oh,
Sea of
Skull and
Thieves?
Bones.
Yep.
Skull and Bones. Yeah.
War of the Furious
Please
Sea.
change that. Yeah, Skull and Bones should be called that.
Goddess of War, the pure land of bliss.
Valkyrie Elysium.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice. Dude.
Yeah, Elysium. is the
It's like
pure
a
land
literal
of it.
translation
Yeah,
of
yeah,
those two
yeah,
words,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Little Big Adventure.
Little Big Adventure.
Little Devil Inside, Little Big Planet, Little
Getting close.
Nightmares.
Tearaway. Yeah. Little Nightmares 2. Dreams.
Yeah, Dreams.
So close.
Puppeteer.
Sackboy.
There it is.
Oh, Sackboy, because it was the PC board. I forgot about that game. Cool game.
You might get there. Combat Whirlwind 6.
World of Helicopters.
World of
Samurai Warrior 6.
Ace Combat 7 for some reason.
Yeah, Dynasty Warrior 6. I don't know.
Whirlwinds.
Dude. Whirlwind.
Whirlwind
Rainbow
of
Six Siege. I don't know.
The 6 is pretty key. But
So say it again.
Combat Whirlwind 6.
Soul Calibur 6?
Oh, that's a great guess. I like that.
Street Fighter 6.
There it is.
Oh,
Street
duh.
Fighter 6.
Jeez, of course.
X, of course.
Like, well,
Brad wins again. 4
Uh,
points. Damiani 3 points. Isla 2 points.
Hey, I'll take it.
It's time for bets. This week's bet. As we mentioned earlier, The Case of the Golden Idol is launching next week. It is a detective game in which you essentially find words, collect words in an inventory, and then you use those words to complete sentences and solve mysteries. I'm going to look through the game's launch trailer next week. How many of those collectible words in that trailer will be an item of food or drink? And for example, the last trailer that I was looking at, or an earlier trailer I looked at, had lemonade, wine, roast, and salad. Brad, how many words are food related?
5.
5. Damiani.
2.
2. Isla.
6.
6. And then I bet 8.
So we got the low.
Got that high. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
For last week's bet, we were betting on Overwatch 2. This is a fun one. I went through the first 10 English reviews on OpenCritic. I looked for the words surprise and disappoint, including various forms of those words. And we wanted to see which word would appear more and by how much. Brad bet surprise would have more, +1. Huber bet disappoint, +2. Damiani bet disappoint, +4. Isla bet surprise, +1. And I bet disappoint by 3. Total, out of 10 reviews from IGN, Metro Game Central, Games Radar, Game Informer, Polygon, GameSpot, Forbes, Shack News, Attack of the Fanboy, and God is a Geek, there were 1 surprise and 3 disappoints.
Oh.
+2 disappoint.
+2.
That's Huber.
Win goes to Huber, and Brad's in Huber's seat,
Oh, shit.
bringing the scores to a massive Chubbs 20 split. Malodorous Sea Lions 18.
I forgot what sound we made.
Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. That is how we do everything that we do. It's a critical time right now with all the inflation and financial woes and changes in staff and everything. Things are a little bit light. So if you can go there and help pitch in to make up for people that have had to leave for one reason or another, that would be a huge help. I don't have a fancy goal or anything for it, but yeah, if we can like move towards that 30,000 mark again, we would be in a much more confident place, and yeah, keep all of this running. And we do have various perks and rewards there. There's a behind-the-scenes tier watching right now as we record this at that $20 tier. And if you give just $1, that helps. If you have been a patron in the past and you had to bow out for one reason or another in the past and you can come back, please consider doing so. At $1 level, you get this podcast with no ads on it. Plus, you get 2 extra love and respect questions, including an extra game that we did this week. And at $5, you get early access. You get to submit to Love and Respect and Workout Buddies, as well as other shows that we have submissions to. You also get extended cuts of some of our shows, and you get access to our Discord, where you can chat with other people in the community. You can check out headlines that we might wind up picking and discuss and all that stuff. And if you join at the higher levels, the $250 and above, you get shout-outs on our podcasts. And this month's shout-outs go to Javawabs, Elthanis, Greg, the Dark Knight Kettering, and Anacroth. Shout out.
Shout out.
Brad, since you're in Huber's seat, you get to promote any Easy Allies video you'd like to promote. You get the final word on anything you've disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped in your head right now. And you get to sign off with your trademark sign-off.
I don't even know what came out this week for videos for us. I don't even know what to promote. Man. I don't even know what's happening. I guess check out the latest episode of Frame Trap with me and Damiani.
Yeah.
We got Isla on there for a little bit. We got Hero. We talk about a bunch of cool games. If you want to hear us get in depth with games, that's the podcast for you. Check it out. CD Projekt Red, be careful. Be cool. Be careful. Be excellent to each other, everybody. Take care.
Midnight sun, won't you come and let me play as Blade?